enjoy the perfect getaway for the whole family at their premier mountain resort, where you'll create memories that will last a lifetime. For more information, visit innofthemountaingods.com.
Fox News, I'm Sue Guzman. President Trump ordering the reopening of the notorious Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay to house the most ruthless and violent criminals.
It's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, of whatever it is. I mean, it's a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order. And, it's got quite a history, frankly.
Alcatraz was closed in 1963 because of crumbling infrastructure and the high cost of repairing and supplying the island facility. Cardinals gathering in Rome. The process is set to begin this week to select a new pope.
Nearly all 134 cardinal electors have arrived in Rome for the conclave, which is set to begin Wednesday. Vatican City firefighters just installed a chimney for the voting process.
This is Chadley Painter. When white smoke comes from that chimney, they'll let us know when the new pope's been selected. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good May run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, young pairs, bred cows. We expect to sell 1,200 head, breaking down like this: 125, 150 weight cows and bulls, 200, 225 pairs and bred cows, 750, 800 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 100 bred cows from the 2T Partnership, Pecos, Texas. Reputation quality black white face Angus and Brangus crossbred cows. Second and third trimester bred to high quality Angus bulls. Good flesh, PI negative. Cows are gentle, cake broke, consisting of 35 long 2-year-olds, 45 3 to 6-year-olds, and 27 to 9 years old. Nice set of bred heifers and cows. Calves always top the market. Also 15 cow-calf pairs off the 2T Partnership. Pairs 2 to 5 years old. 28 pairs, Mr. Terry Tinker, Quemada, New Mexico. 28 pairs, 9 bred cows, fancy quality young Angus cows with black white face calves at side. 2 to 6 years old, cake broken, gentle, rock footed. 15 pairs, Kinzer Ranch, White Rock, New Mexico. Quality black white face Angus cows with Angus calves at side. Pairs 8 to 10 years old. 70 Holstein steers. Off one dairy, excellent quality shots, bunk broke, 250, 350 pounds, 40 black cross steers and heifers off the same dairy, 400, 500 pounds, 116 calves, Gresham Ranch, Portales, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face, Charolais crossbred cattle weighed 100 plus days, one round of shots right off some short wheat, 500, 650 pounds, 43 calves, Guadalupe Mountains Farms, Sierra Blanca, Texas. Quality black white face Angus crosses, medium flesh, 450, 600 pounds. 48 calves, Mr. Chris Northcott, Hobbs, New Mexico. Fancy quality black Angus calves, Bovish Gold 7-weight Brandon, 275, 400 pounds. 26 calves, Mr. Mike Wilson at Tatum, New Mexico. Good quality black white face Angus crossbred calves, cattle weighed 60 days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 575 pounds, and 52 light yearlings. The Adelante Farms here east of Roswell. Excellent quality 85% black white face Angus crossbreds, cattle weighed 120 days, 2 rounds of shot, 600, 750 pounds. Sale time this morning be 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 9:45 to 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 11 a.m. Nice run of young pairs and bred cows for today. We expect to sell 1,200 head. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Beat the tariffs at National Furniture Liquidators. Proposed tariffs could significantly raise the price of furniture. Don't wait. At National Furniture Liquidators, we have over $5 million in inventory, tariff-free, ready to deliver now. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and more with great financing options regardless of your credit, and all tariff-free. National Furniture Liquidators. When it comes to value, quality, and selection, nobody beats yours.
Hey, man, turn that down. Where's my keys?
Hey, what's the rush?
I'm headed to the JC to sign up for some classes.
What's the hurry? We barely graduated.
I heard classes are filling up.
So what, you're gonna be a scientist or something?
Man, I could be a welder, police officer, barber, or maybe even a nurse. They make bank.
Yeah, right.
They even have audio and video classes for you.
Really? Hold up. Let me get my keys and I'll drive.
Just roll on out to New Mexico Junior College and register at nmjc.edu today.
Get ready for some serious fun at the 4th Annual Turfs Flag Football Tournament, hosted by United Way of Lee County. Coming up Saturday, June 14th, 2025 at Hobbs High School's Watson Stadium. Gates open at 8 a.m. and it's a full day of excitement with food vendors, family fun, and a special appearance by football star Jadian High. Even better, it's all for an amazing cause. Every dollar raised supports the Hobbs Schools Crisis Fund, helping kids facing homelessness stay in school and succeed. Think you've got what it takes? Team registration is open now, but don't wait. The deadline to register is May 30th. Sign up your team, show your skills, and be part of something bigger than the game. That's the Turfs Flag Football Tournament, Saturday, June 14th at Watson Stadium. Football, food, fun, and giving back. Don't miss it. See you there.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning. The forecast going down to 85, and at times some heavy rainfall is going to be in your way as you go to Roswell at 76 degrees with a 60% chance for rain. In Carlsbad, Artesia, the temperatures reaching near 82 degrees with an 80% chance for showers, even a few thunderstorms. And in Lovington and Hobbs, temperatures in the middle 70s with a 90% chance for showers and thunderstorms. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Hello? And there is a great deal of excitement and anticipation in the air.
Come on, feel the noise.
Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying.
In the Breakfast Club, being powered by Permian Ford, with the goal of being your #1 Ford dealer in New Mexico and West Texas. Broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. The question of the day, brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply. They have parts for semis, heavy trucks, and industrial trucks. Text line being brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
Good morning. Morning.
We are V in the Breakfast Club.
Today is the 5th of May.
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
No, Cinco de Mayo.
What's that about?
The Battle of Cinco de Mayo.
I love mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. I am throwing a big Cinco de Mayo party.
What are the rules?
There are no rules, senor. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
God bless you. It is Cinco de Mayo. It's 7 minutes after the hour of 6. Morning show this morning being brought to you by, of course, powered by Permian Ford. Check them out today. Make sure and tell Daniel Velos hello. Text line being brought to you by Kubota and Amigo Machinery, 877-396-W105, amigo-machinery.com. Question of the day being brought to you by Lovington Auto and Truck Parts. They are your Napa dealer, Avenue D in Lovington. And don't forget, broadcasting from the End of the Mountain God studio. Check them out on the web, on Facebook, and live in person. Question of the day this morning. It's a very simple one. If you voted for Donald Trump, can you still celebrate Cinco de Mayo? Because I'm on TikTok and I see all these people. If you voted for Trump, you can't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Monica, can you celebrate if you voted for Trump?
Yes, you still can celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Why wouldn't
All right, so Monica, if Tom was here, I would ask him the questions.
Uh-oh.
Do you know the history of Cinco de Mayo?
Yes and no.
But wait, before you answer, let me just say this.
I do.
80% of Hispanics get the answer wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there was a battle,
okay,
right? But I don't know who the battle was between. Of course, Mexico and...
It was between France and Puebla, the state of Puebla. Or was it the state or the city?
No, it was the state.
Yeah, state of Puebla.
The Mexican army was there.
Right.
Yeah. And two things that are found in Puebla. Number one, there's a lot of blonde hair Blue Eye because the Germans were there building the Volkswagen Beetle.
More recently than Cinco de Mayo, yes.
Yeah, remember the guy that was riding the train in Texas?
The killer.
I can't remember his first
Isn't
name,
that
but
Ramirez?
he was. Yeah, no, God.
What was his name?
Resendez. Resendez is his last name. So he was from Puebla also. So two things that are well known and no, it is not.
His name was Angel.
Angel Resendez. I think I got that right.
Yeah, I just typed it in.
But a lot of Hispanics believe it's Mexican Independence Day, and you're going to have to wait till September to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so
I don't know why.
The quick history, Cinco de Mayo, is Spain, France, and England were going to sign a treaty with Mexico. And so England and Spain, they left. France said, no, we're going to attack anyway. The Mexican army repelled them, beat them in the battle there. And so that became Cinco de Mayo.
Wait, Blake, you got that part wrong. The French retreated.
No, they got beat. They may have called for
French
a retreat,
jokes.
but it was because they got beat.
Yeah, no doubt. So today is Cinco de Mayo. We'd love to hear from you about Cinco de Mayo. Today is Great Lakes Awareness Day. Hug a shed and take a...
What?
Hug a shed and
Why
take
would
a
you
selfie
hug a
day?
shed?
How the hell you hug a shed?
For real.
That's got to stand for something.
International Midwife's Day, Museum Lovers Day, Nail Day, Cartoonist Day for Blake.
Amen.
Enchiladas Day, Hoagie Day, National Meeting Planners Appreciation Day, National Silence the Shame Day, Oyster Day, Revenge of the Fifth Day.
No.
Day.
It is not Revenge of the 5th. That happens on the 6th. You have May the 4th be with you. Then you have Cinco de Mayo. Look, these are nerds that aren't really nerds who are trying to be nerdy. Have been trying to make it on the 5th for a long time, and it makes zero sense because the bad guys in Star Wars are the Sith. So that happens on the 6th.
All right, so we'll let the nerd of the show.
I'm just telling you.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. So, I'd love to hear from you. Cinco de Mayo. Can you celebrate it if you voted for Trump? Because people on TikTok saying, I don't even want to think about you celebrating, my holiday if you voted for Donald Trump. What? Now, what's the hate for Donald Trump? Because 58% of Hispanics polled said they are for mass deportation. So maybe you ought to check with your own folks, okay? Just saying, just throwing it out there. So I did speak to Tom yesterday. He said that possibly he would be back tomorrow or Tuesday. I told him take his time and get better. Monica will see him later today.
Correct.
So if you're wondering about Tom, that is the skinny. I called him like 1,800 times. Finally, he calls me. I'm at the gym, and he sends me a message. Call me, bro. Call me now. I'm like, did somebody take your phone away or what?
But yeah, I had to call him
his sister
several times. Go ahead.
His sister was there, and then I don't think he wanted to talk with his sister in the room.
Right. You know why? Because he wanted to lie.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be it. Former Biden press secretary Jen Psaki claims that she never saw any signs that Joe Biden had diminished mental acuity during her tenure at the White House.
Speaking of lies,
I'm saying that Jen should run for congresswoman because she is an incredible liar. Psaki also didn't entertain the notion of political cover-up from her former colleagues, saying that she shook off that notion of speaking of shaking off, I remember Joe Biden shaking hands with ghosts and stuff. So, wow. Woo. Michelle Obama recently dismissed the rumors of her divorce from Barack, which is kind of odd because people thought her marriage was on the rocks, even more so than Kamala and a glass of hard liquor. But she said that Michelle Obama over the weekend said she is transitioning. I've got that story somewhere. I'll give you the full detail. And when I hear the word transitioning nowadays, you know the first thing that comes to mind with me?
What?
They're transitioning. So, I'm serious. I'll get to that story coming up. Ruth Buzzy's husband had posted on Facebook page last week that because of her health issues, she must withdraw from writing, but she will still read and enjoy your post. She died the next day at the age of 88.
Now, I hate to say it, but I thought she had already passed.
I did too, because I didn't even know she was on Facebook.
Wow.
I must have been getting ghosted on Facebook by Ruth Buzzy. But Diddy, his trial coming up in New York. Jury selection begins today. Opening statements are scheduled on May 12th. And he faces 5 counts. 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. And it's amazing they've kept him locked up this whole time. It really is.
Yeah. And like,
I'd have thought.
You'd have thought he would have already found a way to get out or something.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about earthquakes. Hail yesterday. We had hail in Lovington yesterday.
We did. It depends on where you were and how much you got. Like, we got just bombarded this last time. Yesterday wasn't so bad. They were little hail.
Oh, our front drive in what we call a yard is an ocean.
We got water for sure. I mean, we got a lot of flooding, but the hail wasn't as bad.
Oh yeah, the hail was all over. Just kind of
floating.
Yeah, floated on top, and then my daughter drove in and it's like parted the sea. Like the hail just went.
Yeah, it looked like that stuff they put in the packing. The foam little.
Yes, that's exactly what it looked like.
And eventually it just melts and goes away. All right, let's check the weather this morning being brought to you. What's that, Blake?
We'll take the water, right?
Yeah, we'll take the water. We don't
want it all at once, but we will.
Yeah, we don't want it all at once, and we really don't need the hail. So abstain with the hail. Rain is okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got more rain to the forecast today. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Fusion Medical Spa in Ruidoso. It is Ladies Month. Yeah, they for the entire month of May, they are giving discounts for women, procedures for women, and products for women. Fusion having a war on the wrinkles with Botox, $11 per unit with a registered nurse administering. That's a $1.50 per unit discount. Plus, Fusion is offering $500 off the O shot, which deals with women's incontinence, and 20% off 3 treatments. Fusion also offering a product that can restart hair growth for ladies at 15% off. And they're offering a special message to all hardworking folks in the patch. If you are in pain, go talk to them about stem cell therapy. Talk to them about some of the other things that they do. But stem cell therapy, it is a way that you can fix your back, your knees, your joints without surgery. Call for a free consultation to Dr. Rath today. They're in the River Crossing in Ruidoso, or at 575-257-4772. Call them today. 79 for the high today, 40% chance of rain. Most of that could be severe, but in the afternoon. Flood watch in effect tonight, 90% chance of rain, down to about 50 tonight. and 72 for your Tuesday, and the sun will shine. I failed to say 30-mile-an-hour winds expected also on top of the severe weather and the rain, but it will be clearing up tomorrow for southeast New Mexico. In Ruidoso, high temperature today, 61, chance of rain coming up this afternoon. Chance of rain and snow coming up tomorrow with a flood watch in effect for tonight, starting tonight with a chance of snow late tonight into tomorrow. Most of that will be gone, they say, by Wednesday morning, but back Wednesday afternoon. And in Albuquerque, calling for a high temperature of 67, 30% chance of rain, 50% chance of rain tonight, 70% chance of rain on Tuesday, and I see rain all the way through at least Wednesday night. Keep up with the forecast. Go to W105radio.com. Quick check of the weather this morning being brought to you by A Custom Construction and Roofing. Need a roofer. Need a roofer to go out and check out all the hail damage that you have had. Called Dwayne Pinnock this morning, 575-318-9725. Beware of those unlicensed out-of-town contractors. It is not worth any savings that you think you're going to get, because long-term, that warranty is not worth the paper it's written on. Do business with good folks. Folks that are licensed and bonded and insured. A local veteran. And a guy that has the A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. A Custom Construction and Roofing. Call Dwayne Pinnock, 575-318-9725. Okay, so we've had hail, we've had rain, and a earthquake on top of all of that. So they're calling it Texas, but it was felt. It's far away. Roswell felt it, and they're saying a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. So it was a shaker. They say it was felt about 100 miles away. Did you guys feel any of that?
I felt nothing. Blake stepped away for just a second because we're having a little bit of issues with our transmission.
For a minute there, I thought maybe it was Tom fell out the hospital bed, but when I talked to him yesterday, I asked about that, and he said no.
Did you feel the earthquake, Blake?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Although I did.
Yeah, they said they felt it in Roswell.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, up to 100 miles away.
Yeah.
It was down there in that same area where they
of these series of earthquakes that we've had, I only felt the first one. That's it. All the other ones that followed,
every once in a while, depending on when it is and what I'm doing, and how big it is. And they happen anywhere between like the Mentone area and the Midland area, right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of depends on where and how big. And it kind of feels like a big truck hit something.
Sure.
Or went by or something like that. That's generally the way it feels.
That's what I remember. I was actually in the studio at my last job, and my chair just started shaking, and I was like, what in the world? I thought somebody had crept up and was shaking my chair.
Like a coworker had rolled off the couch or something.
Now, I do have to say for folks, if you are counting on us being over the air this morning, you're probably not hearing me say this. Will is checking on it right now. I had to wake him up, unfortunately. And on the app, apparently there's parts of it that are low, and I don't know what the deal is. I've checked everything on my end. Will is logging in through the equipment to check on his end.
We were on earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Sounds like maybe an electrical issue.
Yeah, because all of our buttons are correct here on the board, and
hopefully it comes back on shortly.
Yes.
Yep. Blake, I'm sure you got this story or had this story in the news. They're saying license plate readers are now being used in Lee County, and they're seeing positive results with the license plate readers.
Oh.
We talked about this. There have been 4 or 5 people that have been arrested in Albuquerque. I'm talking about a murderer was taken off the street. Big fentanyl bus.
Wow.
Because police are out there reading it scans the license plates as they fly by on the interstate.
Right. Well,
and
here there's 8 different ones they have in the county so far.
So, and they've already successfully recovered 2 stolen vehicles and approximately $70,000 worth of stolen goods. So that's a success story.
Yes,
I'm going to be,
but
yeah, I get it. I don't want. Is it a constitutional violation?
No, not technically.
It's probably not,
because you're on public roadways. I mean, it's the same thing. Like if you wanted to take a picture, you can, because it's public roadway.
Yeah.
But now they're going to share the information with other law enforcement. Yeah. Like Albuquerque does, or the state police does. And I don't know.
Sad story.
I still have reservations about it.
Sad story over the weekend. You know, we have police officers, and I always back the blue. Most 90% of cases, I back the blue. I probably higher than that. But I just got to say this much. You see the accidents. You see the drunk driving accidents. You probably come across the horrific crash, and you decide to drink and drive, especially in a town like Rio Rancho or Albuquerque, where you have Uber.
Right.
You have Uber. State police officer arrested, now on administrative leave, still being paid for allegedly drunk driving, causing a crash, then leaving the scene. Crash happened about 3 p.m. Friday in Rio Rancho. Sandoval County deputies were called to the crash where the driver took off. They found the vehicle with the damage in Rio Rancho. They arrested Hugo Diaz Amaya for reckless driving, leaving the crash, and DWI. State police officer. Now, we've got another story of a Albuquerque police officer arrested for DUI. He was arrested. By the way, had his kid in the car with him. Second time in the last few days, police officer in New Mexico arrested and charged with driving under the influence. Albuquerque police officer Jonathan Franco was arrested in Bernalillo during a checkpoint by the county sheriff. By the way, the chief of police said, look, I have nothing to hide. He never worked a DWI unit, and the Albuquerque police got some major issues when it comes to DWIs. But you know, you would think this is 2 New Mexico police officers that are arrested within days of each other for DUI. And I guarantee you this morning, in every squad room, there is going to be a discussion with the powers that be talking to police officers. Hey, you are not above the law. You cannot drink and drive. Sad. You would think that they would see everything that goes on. But evidently the message hasn't hit home yet. It's probably going to hit home soon, because both of them are probably going to lose their jobs. For sure. All right, 627. President Trump imposing 100% tariff on movies produced in foreign countries, saying we want movies produced in America. We want our movies to be great again. Thought on that, Blake?
You know, I think we should make movies in America. We're number 4 in the world. We're not even number 1. And
so is this a win for New Mexico with all the money we've invested in the movie industry?
If we would really go after it,
I would say yes. I agree with Blake. And I think that bringing movie production back to the United States, or like President Trump said, he's going to tariff those that are coming out from wherever they're, making the movies, right along with everything else. Like, it's a hard line. Like, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be.
And the state of Texas just recently passed these in their Senate, just passed the single biggest monetary type bill to draw the movie industry to Texas.
Wow.
And New Mexico is just looking at Texas going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, we had some stuff here, but I guess it's going to Texas.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and the movie industry is very well known to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They take your deal.
Yep.
And they move stuff there. And then when somebody else comes up with a better deal, right before the incentives go away, then they move on to the next. I mean, they're like a gold digger.
Well, Texas,
they just keep on moving.
Texas already has a pretty bigger than you think, movie industry stuff going on there. Atlanta is a big movie hotspot, and other filming as well. And New Mexico is in that conversation, but we won't take the steps to put ourselves at the forefront of that conversation.
Yeah.
So
if some of these like Texas and New Mexico could get together and they could draw Hollywood out of Hollywood and they could put it somewhere.
Look, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's way too much ego.
Sure.
With a little lady in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
There really is. She's 100%. Not going to go to that table.
No,
not going to happen.
No, she would rather lose and her state burn than to partner with anybody else that would be successful.
No. Right.
No, she's not going to do that. So I actually think it's good, and I think that look, a lot of talks over the weekends about tariffs, and I'll get to China coming up. But I love the people that are like, those ships are leaving empty from the ports in China. Why would you sail with empty ships?
That's a very good question.
Are you really? I mean, they're leaving with empty ships.
Yeah,
not coming to America. So you're sailing with it. So you just like wasting diesel, is what you're telling me. No, those ships. Look, there are many websites that you can go to. There's a couple pages that you can go to on YouTube, and it shows exactly what's going on. The rioting in the streets in China, the workers being fired. And look, Shein just moved to Mexico. Mexico, I might have told you guys this when last week I was in and out, but Mexico thought it was a great thing that Shein was going to move there and they were going to avoid the tariffs being made in China.
Wow. That's the first I've heard of Shein moving to Mexico.
Yep. Yeah. And then what happened at the factory, they fired all the Mexican workers and brought in Chinese workers.
Oh.
So Mexicans are hot. They're not happy.
So how do the Chinese just come over so easily into Mexico? Does Mexico not have laws like we do?
They make a deal with the Mexican government to open a factory.
Okay.
And I guess that's like a guest worker program, kind of.
Sure.
I don't know that for 100%. All right, 633, text line, thought for the day, and the tweet of the day coming up. Monica, get us updated.
Unfortunately, we don't have much on the text line, Kev. A lot of them are just...
Because it's Cinco de Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo. Nobody went to work. No, I'm kidding. No,
it's probably because we're not broadcasting on air.
Right. And then a couple of people that have joined on YouTube have not said anything yet. So I could check the Facebook page and see if anybody's saying anything.
Yeah. All right, thought for the day this morning being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service, dependable, boom or bust. Check them out today. WakefieldOil.com, 575-622-4160. They deliver on-road, off-road. If you're in the patch, on location, they can deliver to you. Go to the website, WakefieldOil.com, 575-622-4160. Thought for the day in memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Thought for the day is, I dream of a better world where a chicken can cross the road without having to be motivated. It's my thought for the day this morning. All right, 6:34. Let me get to the tweet of the day. Tweet of the day this morning being brought to you by our buddies at Zia Guns. Zia Guns in Roswell, closed Saturday, always open on Sunday. Yes, they were open yesterday. Over 1,000 firearms in stock, handguns, rifles, and shotguns, personal protection, lethal and non-lethal personal protection. Ladies, if you've been thinking about getting personal protection, they offer, the lethal weapons, but they also offer a huge selection of non-lethal weapons. They have ammo, cleaning supplies. They can tune up your bow. Get in touch with Zia Guns, 575-622-0023 or 1907 North Main in Roswell. Check them out today. Tweet of the day this morning. This young lady gives us some bullet points about Trump's first 100 days.
100 days in office. What have we seen the second administration accomplish so far? Well, on the job front, Donald Trump is wasting absolutely no time on delivering promises to the American people. According to the White House, President Trump has created 345,000 jobs since taking office in January, and 228,000 jobs were created in March alone.
It's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen.
Now, 54% of these were in non-government and government-adjacent sectors. This is a dramatic improvement from the last 2 years of the Biden administration, when 75% of all new jobs were in government or government-adjacent sectors. Now, at the same time that we saw this huge private sector job boom, 15,000 federal government jobs were cut.
Thank you!
In his first 100 days, Donald Trump was also tasked with tackling Bidenflation, which continuously worsened year after year until Trump came along. He fixed what was very broken. The White House also says that prescription drug prices are down over 2% since President Trump took office. In fact, last month, the drop in price of prescription drugs was the largest ever recorded.
Wow.
Wow.
Just as well, gasoline prices are down 7%. Energy prices are down 2%. And inflation has declined for 2 months straight. We will remind you that under sleepy Joe Biden, grocery prices rose 23% and energy prices shot up about 34%. On the economy, the White House reports that at least $5 trillion in new investments have been pledged from foreign governments and private companies. And why? Because this president loves deregulation.
I love it!
So, couple things that happened over the weekend that was reported. Really, it happened on Friday. Unemployment rate holds steady with the April jobs report. Growth beats the analyst prediction. It was the 12th straight month where it, unemployment was relatively low. I mean, is 4% relatively low? I'd like everybody working, but that just might be too much. But 4%, a lot of that 4% though was federal workers, and as she said, we're cutting federal workers in a time where we don't need as many federal workers. We shouldn't need as many state workers, and that's what Joe Biden was hiring. We'll just add some federal workers.
Yeah,
not good. So. All that good news that happened on Friday, the Fed will forego any change to interest rates. That would be a good thing, right, Blake?
Blake stepped away. We're still working on the sound issue.
And so the Dow was up more than 600 points on Friday. And, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, that, the S&P 500 notched the longest winning streak in 20 years. And I posted up on Facebook on Saturday, where are the liberals talking about the where are the liberals talking about the great gain and the great rebound that we've had from Donald Trump as the stock market rebounded, and it was at what 41.5. Thank you for that. 41,500 on Friday, 41,317. And I had a school teacher that posted up and said that that it's still $10,000 off where it was under Biden. Now, let me just be the first to say this. Is this Common Core math? Because the highest it's ever been was after Donald Trump won the election in December.
Right.
And that wasn't Joe Biden's stock market. That was a reaction from Donald Trump winning the election. It got up to 45,000. That was the highest. So let me get this right. 45,000 minus 41,500 equals 10,000 in New Mexico Common Core math, right? Because she's a teacher.
That would be Common Core math, yes, sir.
That would be. I told her, I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself because the Dow was under 42,000 on election day.
Yep.
But before that, it had never gotten up over 38,000. So we're well beyond that. We're well beyond that.
I agree.
And so the stock market is rebounding. Jobs are coming. People, get off your butt and let's get to work. And don't listen to the negative crap that's out there. The crap that's out there is wrong. Things are improving. If Donald Trump actually pulls this off, it can be a rebound of making America a great country again.
Absolutely.
Where people can get up in the morning, go to work, afford a home, and afford to raise their kids.
Right.
So let's get her done. Let's get her done. If you live in Texas, congratulations. Greg Abbott signed the Texas $1 billion school choice bill and the law. So that bill is going into law. When would that would affect the 26-27 school year. So that would be the first time that you would be able to decide what school you're going to go to. School choice.
Yep. Incredible.
But I looked into this and I found out that, the people who are against school choice always make this seem like an anomaly. But Texas is now one of 30 states who do this.
Yeah. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah. Monica just gave me the same look I had. 30? We never heard of this from the other places. 30 states.
Well, and competition is good for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Competition is awesome.
Yes, it is.
So we'll take the competition. That is awesome. By the way, Mexican president declines President Trump's offer to send U.S. troops in to help with the drug cartel. I am personally glad that she turned that down. Look, we did this in Colombia for a long time.
Nicaragua.
Where, you're right. Yeah, also.
Yep.
Where we were there eradicating, training soldiers and doing all of that. Look, the days of nation building are gone. I don't want to be a country that nation builds. We shouldn't want a nation build. We got so much to worry about in America, so I'm good. I'm good. But she said she didn't need America's help. Okay. Do you think she's in the pocket?
Yes.
Of the drug cartel?
Very much so. Very much.
That's what I was thinking. She could be in the pocket. All right, price of oil coming up. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Twin Wells Fuel Station. Driving this morning on 128 and need fuel. Exit Buck Jackson Road. Go down 2.75 miles and fill her up. Unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, DEF value. Twin Wells Fuel Station. They accept credit cards, debit cards, and fleet cards. Are open 24/7. Right there on Buck Jackson Road. Be safe on the road from the Twin Wells Fuel Station. Blake, the Maryland man. New information about the Maryland man. In fact,
Maryland.
Yeah, they actually came out with the audio of the Maryland man's wife. Not wife, but not wife.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever wonder why her name is Jennifer Vasquez Sura? His name is Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea why? I mean, traditionally, Hispanic women take their husband's name, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Traditionally.
Well, they're not really married.
Correct.
No, they're not really married, and they do have one kid together. The other kids,
the youngest,
are not his. And on Friday, we talked about the father of the other kids actually went to a judge and asked, look, she's dating a gangbanger. By the way, this is an open court. This is all available.
Right.
Also in open court, his chica went to a judge and asked for a restraining order because he liked to beat her.
Yep.
But now she's saying, no, but I was going to go, but, well, I'll let you listen to the tape. Yeah, they mended everything. He's a good guy.
I came to fill out a protective order. I think it was in December. But I didn't show up to the court because his family, washed my brain telling me that his dad was sick and not to do it. So I didn't do anything. But after that, it was I would call the police. I have a lot of police reports. And I kept trying to get to the door basement to try to open the door, and then he pushed me.
Wow.
In response to the leaked audio, Jennifer issued a statement saying, after the trauma of his time in ICE detention and the struggles we faced during the pandemic, I sought a temporary protective order, but through counseling and faith, Kilmar and I healed, reunited as a stronger couple, and now our family needs him home.
I'm going to be honest, that is some funny stuff that MS-13 is going to counseling.
Well, look. She might not necessarily mean counseling like a certified counselor. That might be counseling like other MS-13 people saying, hey, if you want you and your family to live, you're going to be together.
Exactly Blake, I was thinking the same thing.
You're going to fight for him. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't lay off, Holmes, we could come down here and, don't make us
That's initially what I thought. I initially thought, in the very beginning, her defending him and making it sound like, I need my husband or whatever he is to her.
She's keeping all of her family alive.
Correct.
Well, and the pictures that they put out with her and his family and his brother, and I wonder, is there any family members that are members of MS-13?
Could be.
Yep. Time to wake up. A Saudi cleric talking about Europe. And by the way, we're not that far off. Over the weekend, it was decided by the mayor. The mayor of New York said he has no problem with the call to prayer.
Yeah.
Now, look, the call to prayer in Saudi Arabia is probably a nice thing. It's 5 times a day. You're the call to prayer.
Look,
but I'm just going to be honest.
If you go
in my neighborhood, 5 times a day, you're going to play.
Look, if you go to Dubai, right, and that plays, it's kind of beautiful in a weird way, right? Because it really the ambiance and everything. Sure. It's like you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of beautiful in a weird way,
right?
I mean, has no bearing on me, but everybody stops what they're doing and they do their thing.
Right.
But here, no. No.
Correct.
Yeah. So listen to this Saudi cleric talking about in England. In England, folks turning a blind eye to what's going on in England. He explains. Unbelievable. He's speaking about it.
You can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day, when it does happen, because we have turned a blind eye, and there are people, I posted up about the call to faith and the call and they were like, well, it's okay. I'm like, unless you live next to it, it's probably not okay.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I got a buddy of mine that he was saying that his neighborhood in England, they've taken over the entire neighborhood and forced their neighborhood bar to close because they didn't like a bar being in the neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
He said that bar's been in the neighborhood for 200 years.
And there's stories in Ireland where they're having crosses in churches either closed or taken down or whatever. Too.
And people just go, oh, it's okay. We need to embrace all of it. No, well, you go ahead and embrace it. I probably won't. AOC, town hall meeting. Boy, these Democrats want to make a big deal about these town halls and people upset and stuff. Listen to AOC. She's up there talking about Doge being a bad thing. And bam, here's what happened.
And I want to know what you're doing about the genocide in Gaza.
Boy, that's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Gosh.
I couldn't
thought
even
there was
understand any of
everything.
it.
I couldn't understand the question that was being asked to her, or was that her asking the question?
Well,
in the
she was
beginning?
saying, she was talking about the issues in Gaza. She said that I used to, and the only reason I know this because the text is scrolling,
right?
And it said, I used to be a huge supporter of yours, but what about the genocide in Gaza? And one thing led to another, and people in the audience attacking her, and craziness. So it's not just at the Republican town hall meetings. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Wow.
All right, 877-396-W105. Donald Trump went on NBC. I don't know if anybody saw that interview. He actually took a different approach. He was very nice to the young lady doing the interview. I'll play some of that coming up.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was very, very nice. So we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. Blake, we're back on, or we're still...
Yes, I had to step out for a little bit there. Will and I were on a video, and we went through everything, and I think we're back on. We still have another issue, but that's not something I have to worry about during the show. It's a reset for later.
All right. Cool. All right, 652. We'll check the text up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Finn's Country Market. You can find them in Artesia. Big specials going on right now. Cinco de Mayo specials. Drumsticks, just 87 cents a pound. Boston Bud pork roast, $1.77 a pound. Boneless beef chuck steak, $4.77 a pound. And get the baby back ribs for $2.77 a pound. And the produce department, jalapeno peppers, 2 pounds, $1. Roma tomatoes, 99 cents a pound. Avocados, get 2 large avocados for $3. And deli department, get the sandwich bread for $1.38 a loaf. And the bologna for $5.99 a pound. Virginia honey ham for $5.49 a pound. Kobe cheese for just $6.99 a pound. If you're looking for country style ribs and pork steak, they've got them for $2.19 a pound. Chuck roast for $5.49 a pound, I should say. Raw shrimp, 1 bag, is just $6.99. That is the tail off. And if you're looking for refreshments, they've got you covered with Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Big Red, and other flavors. 24-pack, 12-ounce cans for $10.99. All today at Finn's country market. 6:53, Monica.
A call to prayer in New York where Muslim terrorists committed the most deadly attack on American soil in history. Yeah, great idea, says the texter.
Yeah.
And my son in Plano lives in an apartment complex, and he says nothing but those of Middle Eastern culture. As we spoke about a few months ago, they want to open their own compound and not follow American laws.
Yep. That Plano Center is the one that wants to open
that mega church.
Yeah, and that's what it stands for. It was East Plano something. Anyway, what does it come out to? Like Epic or something like that?
Oh, really?
But it's up near Farmersville, so not very far from Plano.
By the way, those are popping up all across the state of Texas. I don't know why they have chose Texas. There also one up there by Katy, Texas, and there was one by, I want to say, Amarillo, but they're popping up all over the place, and most of the time they don't even go get building permits.
No, they just buy a large tracts of land
and start building.
Wow. This person
everyone around
said,
them needs to be pig farmers.
Yeah. Original John in Carlsbad said it's the East Plano Islamic Center.
Yeah, that's it. Epic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Epic. East Plano Islamic Center. And when you are praying to a false god, you have to pray 5 times a day, said this texter. Another texter.
Look, I don't have anybody, I don't have a problem with people praying 5 times a day.
No.
But I shouldn't hear your reminder. Set it on your damn phone.
Right.
I mean, if you got to do it, set it on your phone. The entire public shouldn't have to hear it. It's just one of those in-your-face deals.
Well, but the comeback is going to be, what about church bells on Sunday?
Okay, fine. Be done with them.
I'm just saying, there is the religion thing.
Someone simply just texted in King Trump, and then Frank sent in a song or a video I think he wants us to watch. Thomas Jefferson March into Battle song from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Thanks for that, Frank. And that's it for the text line, B.
It looks like 1 person dead, 16 people shot at a Houston family party. 16 people shot at a family party, 1 dead during the large party at a home in Houston. Police said the gunfire broke out after an uninvited guest was asked to leave. 18-year-old man pronounced dead at the hospital. Those injured anywhere from 16 to 40 years old, according to the Houston PD. And officers reported the gunshots fired. They arrived minutes later. Multiple people were wounded. Family party had been taking place, and that's where the shooting started. That's pretty much all we have, a developing story. And this governor loves spending your money, Blake. Yeah. Did you see the GOP?
Yep.
Republican Party of New Mexico.
Yeah.
Saying that she is diverting taxpayer funds to illegal migrants.
Well, she wanted to.
Republican Party. Yeah, she wanted to.
And if you remember, the Republican Party did a good thing when they put out an announcement about her line item veto, 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever it was, and how the reason that she did that line item veto in that bill was so that she could divert money to illegal immigrants.
Wow.
And there had been a lot of outcry
That's what she was
about it.
planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Thursday, the Santa Fe New Mexican reported that Governor Lujan Grisham was on the verge of approving a $1.7 million contract, part of the $56 million health care coverage expansion program, to include undocumented immigrants by funding the state, funding it with state tax dollars. Contract was allegedly terminated after the New Mexico Healthcare Authority learned that the New Mexico medical pool was not a governmental agency.
Right.
So she had planned to use your tax dollars to pay for non-citizens.
Right. And instead of helping New Mexicans, she wanted to help those here illegally.
Oh, my gosh.
And by the way, Amy Barella, I applaud you today. It was just a couple weeks ago I was saying, but still, you know who they need to put in charge of videos and that type of stuff? Social media campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Ant Thornton.
Yeah.
Senator Thornton.
Yep.
I will play a cut from him coming up
Good guy.
A little while later. Yeah.
Really good guy.
Because he is out and about. He has no problem. So, 6:58. Continue, Monica.
Jimmy Burnside said, "Holy wars are coming. It'll be time to play cowboy and Indians and not the kind with feathers on their headband." And that's it.
Well, they're not Indian. India is Indian. They're from the Middle East.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
Well, I think he's just using the cowboy
analogy.
and Indian. Yeah.
Right, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They just call it Cowboys and Arabs.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the price of oil this morning, being brought to you by Spinnaker Cementing Solutions, a division of CUD Energy Services. Spinnaker built the service the largest drilling programs. You can find them in Hobbs on Magnum Industrial Road, or go to SpinnakerOil.com. They have over 200 experienced cementing professionals. They've got 25 cementing crews in New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. Go to the website today for more information, SpinnakerOil.com.
West Texas checking in this morning at $56.99. Brent crude at $60.11 and natural gas at $3.63. Kevin?
All right, Monica, text, you did the text. We're KWMW, Malchamora, 105.1 FM, KWES, 93.5 Ruidoso, and we're at KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9. MS-13 gang members stabbed a Virginia correctional officer in a brutal attack. 6 inmates at the Waylands Ridge State Prison in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, allegedly stabbed 3 correctional officers in that violent attack. And that attack included 6 inmates that were part of that, and members of MS-13 based in El Salvador. MS-13 gang members were part of that attack on our correctional officers. Do you understand now why it's so important when we get these individuals out of our country?
Yeah.
And I will say this. I am sick and tired of hearing about due process.
Yep.
I am done hearing about due process. Because if you came in the country the wrong way, you eliminated your due process.
That's exactly right.
Yes. You did not want it. That was a statement saying, I don't want due process.
Yeah, you did 100% right. And where were these same individuals when Barack Obama, 3 million individuals were deported without due process? Where were you? What happened? Why weren't you there?
Silent.
You said nothing. Blake, the jail woman charged with murder hire plot.
Yep, that's in the news.
I'll let your news tell that story, but
it's kind
of strange and
it's extreme.
Jowl.
That's extreme.
Yeah. Well, I obviously in the news, I have to shorten everything down. I can't get to the whole thing, but they have a kid together. But she said that she's been wanting to kill him for 20 years.
Oh, God.
Wow. So April Wilcox.
They're divorced and everything. I mean, like they're separated. They're not together.
Wow. So wait. Let me get to. You're not even living together.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
She hired somebody to kill her ex-boyfriend.
So what happened? So obviously, whoever she solicited or was trying to solicit to get.
She tried to solicit a whole lot of people, and somebody told on her.
So somebody told on her.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was going to say.
It's not like it was an expensive hit either. You know.
What was she paying?
It's like $1,000.
Lord Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket. I want to kill this fool.
And I think she only paid $900. But anyway.
Wow.
But
so she's a cheapskate.
Yeah.
On top of all of it.
The thing is,
let me ask you this much. How do you explain to your kid that you tried to kill his dad?
That's tough.
Well, it was
and now that
accident.
kid's mom is going to prison.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing is she said that she's just tired of him.
Oh, wow.
And here's a real good idea. If you're tired of someone, stop dealing with them.
Yeah, move away. Like, I get you guys have a kid together, and that's
But
that's
that kid
something
is
you're gonna
how
have
old
to-
now? I don't, I didn't even.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't see that.
Well,
part,
I mean, she's 45. The kid is probably
grown.
Grown.
Yeah. Just
Crazy.
leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't return his phone calls. Take the number out of your phone.
Just change your phone number. Don't have nothing to do with him. That's crazy. Nuts. All right, Monica, the things you do for love. I finally gave in today. I had grown a beard. My wife hated the beard. I got tired of it. I got tired of hearing about it, so I shaved the damn thing off.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Patrick went clean face for me too.
Like my wife likes it, the goatee part.
Mhm.
And so I probably will always have that, but I'm thinking about shaving.
So
the
I
rest
got the
of it,
goatee,
so.
but
yeah, I
shaved
don't
the
like
beard.
to feel the prickly hair up top.
There's certain things that. Never mind.
It's sad.
I don't know what Blake's talking about.
I don't
but
either. I don't either. I'm not. I don't. It's way
Yeah,
too early.
I
way
like
too
a
adult,
baby face.
Way too
I
adult.
love a clean baby
My wife
face.
likes the feel of it. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Elon Musk and his Doge team revealed that what agency fought them the hardest. So, Monica, do you think that whoever fought the hardest is the dirtiest of all the agencies?
Yes, sir. The ones that were the loudest were the dirtiest.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, that is the
Same with the people
deal.
in the Senate and
Yep.
congressmen and senators.
Yep.
Same with them.
Yep. But he said a small agency called the United States Institute for Peace is definitely the agency that fought the hardest.
Wow.
Which one?
And he said when they went there to the agency, they found that they had loaded guns inside their headquarters. Wait. We're talking about the Organization for Damn Peace. Why do they need guns?
Good question.
Why would they need guns? So they actually spent money all over the place on things like private jets. They even had a $130,000 contract with a former member of the Taliban. So
wow.
It was a contractor that they said, former member of the Taliban. They received $130,000 in generic services, and at some point, it was found out that that was funds paid for opium.
Wow.
Wow.
So they're the organization that the United States Institute of Peace, Elon Musk said they are the ones that fought them the hardest. And Denny Hamlin's vehicle caught fire. Frightening scene at the Texas Motor Speedway. NASCAR star Denny Hamlin suffered a scary incident on the track. And Hamlin's number 11 vehicle developed a engine issue between turns 1 and 2. Lap 75, car caught on fire. He was able to get out. Thank God he is okay. All right, before we take a break, I got to play 3 cuts from Donald Trump. He was on NBC. He was actually relatively nice on NBC. I don't know if he liked the young lady that was doing the interview, but she was fairly nice. And she asked him about due process. Here we go again. We're talking about due process for illegals coming into the country. Here's what Donald Trump had to say.
Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. Some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
By the way, the liberals have taken that I don't know if I will follow the Constitution, and they are using that to their, but they're using it to
that's
spread
not
all
what he
kind of
meant.
fake.
Right.
Yeah, we know that, but they're kind of spreading.
But we're going to get some text, I know, from our 3 or 4 or 5 liberal listeners, and they're going to say, "Oh, look, he said he doesn't know if he's going to follow the Constitution." That's not what he meant. What he meant was,
what he said, I don't know. I am not the constitutional lawyer.
Yeah, so he doesn't know.
That's what he said.
How that's going to affect it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. All right, NBC also asked about the border, and Donald Trump, very proud of the border.
Are at their lowest level ever recorded. Is the border
Is that good?
Is the border now secure?
Yeah, it's really secure.
It's absolutely
Isn't that good?
secure.
That when you say that, doesn't that just sound good? After being abused for years by an incompetent president that allowed people to pour through an open border, criminals from all over the world, murderers and insane people from mental institutions and insane asylums. Isn't it a beautiful thing when you say it's the most secure it's ever been in the history of our country? Isn't that a nice statement?
Like I said, he was actually very, very nice.
I like how he was baiting her there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The economy. Donald Trump was asked about the economy. Here's what he had to say.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy, because he's done a terrible job. He did a terrible job on everything.
So let's talk about the tariffs. And I want to ask you about something you said this week. Got a lot of attention. You were at your cabinet meeting. You said, quote, I'm going to quote what you said, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30.
Yeah.
And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. Are you saying that your tariffs will cause some prices to go up?
No, I think the tariffs are going to be great for us because it's going to make us rich.
But you said some dolls are going to cost more. Isn't that an acknowledgement that some prices will go up?
I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have $30. I think they can have $3 or $4 because what we were doing with China was just unbelievable. We had a trade deficit of hundreds of billions of dollars with China.
When you say they could have $3 instead of $30, are you saying Americans could see empty store shelves?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they don't need to have $30. They can have 3. They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
Look, yes, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically.
So do you need $30 or is just, 5 okay?
Well, and they're confrontational no matter what. Oh, well, you're saying people shouldn't be able to have $30. They can only have so many.
Why would you need $30?
Right.
My daughter, her, when it comes to toys and stuff, she has always said my kids don't need all that stuff. So don't give them any more toys. They don't need any more toys.
Well, and what he's saying is that you don't need a whole lot of inferiorly made, cheap dolls.
Wouldn't it be better to have
That's exactly what he meant. That's exactly what he meant.
Wouldn't it be better to have one doll?
Well,
I think it might be better.
And a quality one might cost a little more than the cheap crap.
Absolutely. An American
That's
girl,
what
I
he's
can tell
saying.
you all about the dolls. An American Girl doll loaded with all the outfits and the getup and stuff. You're going to pay at least $150. That's what it was whenever.
Well, it depends on what it is. Like
Cena was little. But if you get these
the
little
Barbie
Walmart
doll
dolls.
the Barbie was originally made in America, right? It wasn't till recently they shipped it over to China. The Barbie doll nowadays is cheap and inferior compared to the Barbie doll even 30 years ago when it was still made.
I mean, I'm just going to be, back in the day, my sister's Barbie dolls, when we would take the legs and arms off, you could pop them things back on. Nowadays, they will not go back on.
You were that kid.
Yeah, he was that kid. I can already see him. He was. What's that kid's name on Toy Story? Sid?
Oh,
yeah, Sid.
Yeah, that was definitely B. Anyways,
that
my point
was a
is,
joke. That was a joke.
I totally agree what Trump is saying. And he should have said that. One fancy American Girl doll is better than 3 or 4 Chinese
Amen.
ugly baby dolls.
No doubt. All right, let's check the weather. Then we'll come back, take a break. Checking the weather this morning being brought to you by Maine Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Maine Trailer Sales. Passport, Durango, Cougar. They've got all the big name brands. And you can go to the website. They bring in brand new inventory. And you can go check them all out. Take a virtual tour of all the units, new and pre-owned, today at MaineTrailerSalesInc.com. Just a reminder, if you are working in the patch and getting paid that per diem, take that per diem and put it towards a fifth wheel. You will thank me later when the fifth wheel is paid for with your per diem. Think about it at the end of the time, 5-6 years down the line, if you wouldn't have got that fifth wheel, all you'd have is a bunch of receipts from the hotel. You buy that fifth wheel with your per diem, you got something, and it's yours. They've got 70 years experience dealing with folks. They give great customer service, fair pricing, and you can't stay in business for 70 years if you don't give good customer service and fair pricing. Go check them out today. It's MaineTrailerSalesInc.com or call my buddy David at 575-622-1751. Sunny today, severe showers in the forecast this afternoon with 30-mile-an-hour winds. Most of those guys from the south. Severe weather tonight, a 90% chance of rain. Flash flood watch in effect, and sunny coming up tomorrow. Much better. And Lincoln County, Ruidoso, sunny in the morning, 61 for the high, 20% chance of rain this afternoon, 70% chance of rain early on tonight, and then a 40% chance of rain mixed with snow. And as you wake up tomorrow, a 20% chance of snow for Lincoln County. And in Albuquerque, 30% chance of rain all day today, 67 the high, 50% chance of rain tonight, 70% chance of rain tomorrow. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. 7:15, taking our break. News this morning being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and the Home Store. Find them in the Broadmoor Mall. Don't forget they have a section of boots that are just $99. $99 for a pair of boots. They also have all your FR clothing, coveralls, gloves, shirts, you name it, they've got all of that. Hard hats, safety gear, plus furniture, appliances, and electronics with zero down financing. Go to the website, rigoutfitters.com, or go to the Broadmoor Mall. They're right next to Scrub Outfitters. By the way, Scrub Outfitters has the largest selection of medical scrubs in 100 miles. Dickies, Healing Hands, Medcouture, and Peaches, some of the brands that they handle, along with all of your compression socks, your comfortable shoes, your equipment, and more. Follow them on Facebook or go to the Broadmoor Mall. Scrub Outfitters right next to Rig Outfitters. 7:15, we're taking a break. We're being the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. There have been 67 measles cases reported in 4 counties in New Mexico, the Department of Health said. 61 of those cases have been in Lee County. Eddy County has reported 3, Doña Ana County has reported 2, and Chavez County has reported 1. In Texas, the number of measles cases has risen to 683. Gaines County, just across the state line from Lee County in New Mexico, has the most cases in Texas at 396. April Wilcox, 45, of Jowl, was arrested Thursday and charged with criminal solicitation and capital murder after an alleged plot to hire a hitman to kill her ex-husband was foiled. On April 21st, an informant told police Wilcox was trying to hire someone to kill her ex-husband and would pay them $1,000. On May 1st, undercover officers contacted Wilcox and asked for the money to perform the hit. Wilcox gave undercover officers $900. She was then arrested. The U.S. Geological Survey recorded an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.3 about 50 miles west of Pecos, Texas, and about 20 miles south of the state line with New Mexico late Saturday night. People from around 100 miles away in places like Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs said they felt the quake. And the Lee County Sheriff's Office installed 8 license plate readers across the county and said they have significantly benefited the LCSO operations over the past 2 months. In addition to recovering about $70,000 worth of stolen goods and vehicles, the department was also able to locate a man who was a danger to himself and had been reported missing. And now they are sharing the information with other law enforcement agencies across the state in a similar manner that Albuquerque Police and the New Mexico State Police do. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Imagine a world where teams wore plain, uninspired uniforms. Functional? Sure. Eye-catching? Hardly. But as times evolved, so did the demand for standout styles. Enter the era of awesome graphics. Located at 523 West Sanger in Hobbs, New Mexico, they revolutionized teen and work attire. Their secret? High-quality FR uniforms from renowned brands like Ariat, Lapco, Byrne, and Bulwark, paired with cutting-edge technology for vibrant, multicolored logos. Awesome Graphics bridges the gap, offering both sports and industrial uniforms that don't just fit well, they inspire. From Nike office shirts to Adidas and Oakley designs, they ensure every team and staff look as professional as they perform. They're not just about appearances at Awesome Graphics, they're about empowering teams. So if you're in Southeast New Mexico and need uniforms that speak volumes, the choice is clear. Visit myawesomegraphics.com and discover how they can elevate your team's image. Awesome Graphics, where style meets performance.
Some theaters show movies, others create experiences. At Lee Theater's grand reopening on May 9th, you get both. Join them for a superhero theme night starting at 6 p.m. Kids can enjoy face painting and ice cream while you snap photos with superhero themed props at the Balloon Arch. The movie starts at 7, but the fun begins the moment you arrive. Don't miss this blockbuster event. See you Friday, May 9th at the historic Lee Theater's grand reopening. Be part of the magic.
You know Benny's Western Store in Artesia is your headquarters for boots, hats, shirts, and jeans. But did you know that Benny's also carries a huge assortment of firearms? Head down to 205 West Main to see the amazing discounts that are available on their firearms and ammo. Benny's also has a huge shipment of jewelry and FR clothing that is priced to sell. New items arriving weekly. You won't find a bigger selection at a better price anywhere. Benny's Western Store, 205 West Main in Artesia, or find them on Facebook.
Beat the tariffs at National Furniture Liquidators. Proposed tariffs could significantly raise the price of furniture. Don't wait. At National Furniture Liquidators, we have over $5 million in inventory, tariff-free, ready to deliver now. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and more with great financing options regardless of your credit, and all tariff-free. National Furniture Liquidators. When it comes to value, quality, and selection, nobody beats Shorty.
What is the Safe Haven Law? In New Mexico, you can bring your infant up to 90 days old to any Safe Haven site without fear of being criminally charged. This includes hospitals, fire stations, and police departments. Monica Kelsey, founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, has worked diligently to provide 3 baby box locations for your convenience. Hobbs's Baby Box is at Fire Station 1, 301 East White Street. Carlsbad's Baby Box is at Fire Department Station 1, 401 South Jalagueno Street. Roswell's Baby Box is at their Central Fire Station, 200 South Richardson Avenue. Remember, if you can't make it to one of these Safe Haven Baby Box locations, you can take your infant to any hospital, police department, or fire station. No shame, no blame, and no names. Visit shbb.org for more information.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com. Home of the lifetime Permian powertrain promise.
Let's get it on!
You're a lot smarter than I look.
We asked Southeast New Mexico what they wanted in a morning show, and they told us. We're tired of being asked what we want in a morning show. All right.
Both of us were banging our heads like two 16-year-olds, yelling at each other.
Be in the Breakfast Club. Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
This is not headline news. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Don't celebrate too much during lunch. You may lose-o de jabo. Tickets for Beyonce's tour are selling for as low as $25. You will get used to it, responded the other 2 members of Destiny's Child. Disney wanted to pay Jeremy Renner half his original salary for a second season of Hawkeye. Renner said he wasn't plowed over by the offer. And someone stole Joaquin Phoenix's car outside of his LA home. It's kind of payback for the $15 he stole from all of us with Joker 2. This is not headline news.
It's already 7:23 morning show this morning being brought to you by State Representative Randy Pettigrew, reminding you, Governor Grisham, not only does she try to spend your money, on things that she shouldn't spend. I got another report coming out about the governor coming up at some point this morning. But Randy reminding you that the governor is trying to attack our way of life, trying to attack our businesses, trying to attack our kids, and, your values at the crosshairs of this administration. Randy Pettigrew, always promising the conservative voice. He is a constitutional conservative. And he is a fighter that goes up there to Santa Fe and continues to fight. Go to the website, randallpettigrew.com. Sign up for that newsletter to be informed on what's going on in the state. Message paid for by Randy Pettigrew. Monica in the text, it's already 7:24.
Has anyone but me noticed that Trump has changed a little bit since Butler? It seems like he's more mature, more focused, or whatever it is. I guess coming face to face with your own mortality makes you look at things a little different.
It could.
I believe that he is more sincere about his spirituality. That is certain. He is definitely...
and he spoke on it.
Yeah, he has definitely given God... glory for keeping him alive, and he's become very vocal about his faith. And so, I think you're on the right track saying that, Texter. Let's see. So I think that you guys missed the point, or he's saying, I think your focus is on the wrong thing. He used a doll as an example. I think what he was trying to say is that the American people just buy so much crap, useless crap. He wants people to stop buying so much crap.
Right.
Yes. No, we totally understood that, Texter. And then this one says, Junior DePorto said, the little girl needs 3 dolls, and make sure you buy them the little kitchen set with the dishes, said Junior. This texter said, gas at Walmart today is $2.74. Brewer, $3.15. Still gouging. And Frank in the Patch said, so this person, James O'Keefe, he does research on a whole lot of different topics. Now he and his team of researchers have gone into hiding because he came across something that's very dangerous and of great importance. It's going to be put out this week, said Frank in the Patch.
I did see that. Of course, James O'Keefe was with Project Veritas.
Yes.
And he was the face of Project Veritas, and then he had a falling out, and so he left, and he's on his own now. But he discovered all the fraud during the election and released all kinds of stuff and continues to do that investigative. Remember the guy that was he was talking about they were throwing gold bars off the Titanic? And they really weren't throwing gold bars, but he was saying that the EPA was having to spend this money because if not, they would lose the money after the election. Throwing gold bars. That was James O'Keefe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And liberals will flip the story and ask what the guards did to provoke the illegally detained gentlemen that were just looking for a better life, said the texter. And that's it.
That's what Tom would say. Well, what did they do to him? What the heck?
I without speaking bad on anything, whenever I initially met Tommy's sister, we were talking about the show, and
she's liberal.
Yes. So I understand where Tom is influenced from. Great person, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we talked about a hard topic, and that's what she was sharing with. She was sharing how she works at the schools there in Midland or Odessa. She's like a social worker.
Okay.
And so she got to witness a child be taken away from their environment because of their legal status. she said the parents had gotten removed first. And so the kid was basically there by themselves. And so it was kind of like a tough, I get her point of view, like seeing it like firsthand there with the kids. But the law's the law, you know? And why would you not want a child to be with their babies?
Well, and the parents
be with their parents.
The parents are given that choice. They can take the kid with them.
Yeah.
So I don't get why any loving parent would not say, no, the kid's coming with us. So I don't get that.
You would, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, morning show this morning being brought to you by La Tienda. You can find them in Pecos, Texas. If you're new to Pecos, find them at 810 South Eddy in Pecos. Cinco de Mayo specials going on. The baby back ribs are $2.77 a pound. Boneless beef chuck steak $4.77 a pound. Get the Boston butt pork roast for $1.77 a pound. Drumsticks. Get the fryer drumsticks, 87 cents a pound. Produce. You can find the jalapeno peppers. Get them 2 pounds for $1. Roma tomatoes, 99 cents a pound. And avocados, 2 for $3. In the deli department, get the sandwich bread. You can get a loaf of sandwich bread right now for just $1.38 a loaf. Also, get the bologna for $5.99 a pound, and Virginia honey ham for $5.49 a pound. And if you're looking for refreshments, they'll keep you stocked up with Coke, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, and other flavors available. 12-pack, 12-ounce cans for $7.99. Get it today. La Tienda in Pecos, Texas, 810 South Eddy. Check them out today. Brand new study in South Korea finds a significant percentage of teachers had students curse or use physical violence against them. So, significant percentage. That means high percentage of teachers. It's like they were teaching in America. At this point, teachers don't have much to look forward to except the summer off. We should never accept a student cursing at a teacher or physically harming a teacher.
Right.
Shouldn't be stand for it. If a student physically harms a teacher, they should be expelled from school.
I agree.
Yeah. Teachers aren't paid enough to be put in that situation. New study finds electric vehicles could save money for 80% of drivers, with motorists saving on average of $8,000 a year. Unless, of course, it burst in the fire. Then they're not winning at that point. And when the batteries go up, the cost of replacing those batteries, that $8,000 a year is gone. It pretty much washed away. Monica, what do you know about that Lady Gaga concert that was held in Brazil? 2.1 million people crowded the beach.
I had no clue about it. When was it?
Yeah,
Over the
police. Yeah, police arrested a man and a teen who claimed that they were planning to attack the concert with a explosive device.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything
And
about
15 years after buying it, Microsoft officially shutting down Skype today. If you use Skype, you can go and move over to meetings. Supposedly, you can do pretty much the same. Now, I haven't tried that because I use Skype to call my mother. So if Skype doesn't work, I'll try to use Teams, but there's one problem with that. Blake, you probably noticed this. Team doesn't have a phone number associated with that call.
Right.
So that may be something I'll have to worry about.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm only half paying attention. I'm letting Monica handle this. I'm having to do a whole lot of other technical stuff right now.
All right, cool. Warren Buffett announced over the weekend he's stepping down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway at the end of the year. Now, look, he's 80-plus years old, has made a lot of money, lot of money, and lives very frugal. I'm just wondering how much of that money he's going to give away when he passes. I bet it's going to be a lot to charity.
Kevin.
94. Wow. So he's stepping down.
Yeah.
Biological male, 47 years old, takes goal in every race that he entered, part of the women's swim beat. Anna Kobolz dominated the women's race at the U.S. Masters Swimming Spring National Championship in Texas.
That's crazy.
Did I mention that Anna is actually a dude? Biological man.
That's sad.
I thought we eliminated all this.
I did too. I thought we were done with that.
Wow. Nuts. Biological man wins every race against women.
Nuts.
I thought that was done. And you know you're very, very sick when you're having sex with a corpse. Immigration and Custom Enforcement has confirmed the man accused of committing these heinous crimes has been deported from the United States multiple times, but he keeps coming back. Felix Rojas, 44 years old, arrested in connection with a shocking and nauseating case where he allegedly robbed and then defiled a dead or dying body of 37-year-old Jorge Gonzalez. Yes, I said Jorge Gonzalez.
Oh, my gosh.
To add insult to injury, ICE says, oh, yeah, he's been deported multiple times, dating back to the 1990s, but he keeps coming back.
Oh, wow.
By the way, he has volunteered to go back to Mexico. Oh, no. You raped a corpse. No, thank you. We're not going to let you this time go back. Not going to happen. You're not going back. All right, Ben Ray Lujan had a big town hall meeting over the weekend. And Ben Ray Lujan finds people that speaks at the town hall meeting. Here's a former teacher who decided to speak up about Ben Ray Lujan and things that she's very worried about.
Leslie, I live in Santa Fe. I wanted to thank Senator Ben Ray Lujan for all he's doing. I also want to express my upset that Medicaid might be undermined, and also I'm a school teacher, and I'm upset about what's happening with funds being taken away from public schools. So I'm hoping that both those issues, along with all the many other issues, that the senator can help us with that. Thank you.
There's the problem with New Mexico, right there. That's the problem with New Mexico. By the way, Medicaid that might be cut. She said Medicare. Medicare is not being touched. And when it comes to school, all they're doing is getting rid of the Department of Education. Nothing is being cut.
Right.
But thank you so much, school teacher. Unbelievable. On the bright side, the Republicans have a winner. I have come down fairly hard on the Republican Party when it comes to not having a presence on social media. Social media is huge. The big announcement that was made over the weekend, that should have been all over social media. I'm talking about somebody doing a live stream or videos. Senator Ant Thornton does a pretty good job, and he discussed the border recently on a live stream. Here's part of that.
As a legislature, our state governor and Democrat legislatures have always insisted that the border is a federal issue, not a state issue. As a consequence, they have chosen to ignore the human trafficking, drug trafficking, and criminal elements using our state border as a thoroughfare for criminal activity and illegal migration. This new national defense area buffer zone is now considered military property, and anyone caught in this area can be arrested on charges of unlawful entry of military property, including U.S. citizens. Since our state lawmakers have refused to address the open border issue, I am in full support of this effort to once and for all secure our southern border here in New Mexico. By the Trump administration doing this, we should experience significant improvement in public safety in our state over the next several months.
So Ann Thornton does a pretty good job. Of course, he represents northern part of the state. Former State Department analyst pled guilty to embezzling money under Joe Biden's watch. Lavita Ferreira, 64 years old, admitted to abusing her signature authority with the State Department on a checking account and absconding with $650,000 of your money over a 2-year time. Lavita of Maryland admitted to abusing her signature authority. By the way, thank you, Doge, for finding the 60 checks that she wrote to herself. And 3 checks that she wrote to somebody that had a personal relationship with her, according to prosecutors. $650,000. You know, when you work in that type of situation, when you're seeing everybody else making money, I guess you decide that, well, maybe it's time for me to get paid.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what she did. She paid herself $650,000. Taking out the trash on the way. Looks like Democratic leader, hopeful Jasmine Crockett, accused of cutting the line at the airport.
No, not Jasmine.
Well, she is kind of that entitled.
Oh,
she's that ghetto.
In a post on X, Representative Lisa McClain of Minnesota shared several photos of Crockett in a private police escort as she was waiting to board the plane at the airport. McClain accused the Democratic colleague of cutting the line in front of passengers and getting on the plane first.
Wow.
So if you're a congressman, should you get on the plane first? No.
No. I mean, if you're just flying regular, no. You're just like everybody else in that moment.
Exactly. You know who should get on the plane first?
Handicapped people.
Members of our military.
Yes.
Members of the military should get on the plane first.
I'm all handicapped.
They should call them. They should get on the plane first. We did the transgender story out of Texas. The 47-year-old man in the swimming competition defeated everybody in every category, took the gold. Here you go again. Girls track meet in Maine became a subject of widespread controversy, dominated by a transgender, trans-identifying athlete competing for the North Yarmouth Academy in Maine, won the girls' 800-meter, 1,600-meter, and other events. Athlete has now made national headlines. I thought Maine was caving on this.
No,
because Trump cut their money.
Yeah, but they're not caving. They got.
They're not caving.
They got 4 people that they're going to put ahead of their entire, 1.5 million population. So,
yeah, it's not much. Van Jones. I remember the first time I saw Van Jones. He was a czar for Barack Obama.
Right.
And I thought he was quite the radical. Well, now he found himself a job on CNN interviewing folks. So they ponied up some African-American folks, and he got the surprise of his life when he asked them questions about Donald Trump. Here's what happened over the weekend.
You had to do it all over again. Would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would.
Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this thing.
She said yes.
It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry. If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump? Yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
Do not believe everything that you hear from pollsters.
That's refreshing.
It's not true. Not all of it is true. And also over the weekend, Elon Musk was asked the question by Laura Bush, does he regret going to work and for Donald Trump and helping Donald Trump save the United States? Here's what Elon had to say.
Supporting President Trump.
Yes, no.
I hope not.
Cut that part.
I hope not.
No, I was trying to be funny. You got me. No, I think it was essential it was essential for President Trump to win to ensure that America remained great. So that we reach greater heights.
So here's a guy that has no regrets of losing billions and billions of dollars. His car company has self-destructed pretty much, not just in the United States, all across the world. The hate for Donald Trump equals the hate for Elon Musk. And he has no regrets doing it. He loves America more than some Americans that were born in America.
Mm-hmm. He sure does.
Even though he's lost billions and billions and billions of dollars. Elon Musk. I will buy the Elon Musk phone when it comes out next month.
Yeah, the Starlink
or
phone.
in July.
I'm looking forward
I
to
will
that.
buy it. Yeah, I will buy it just because I want to give back a little bit
right.
to Elon Musk.
Well,
right.
I do.
I really like his Starlink system. And if this phone compares to the iPhone in the way that Starlink compares to other things,
Right.
I'm going to like the phone.
You know, we were talking about the Tesla truck yesterday. You know, and I personally don't like the look of it. If somebody were to give me one, I would gladly take it. Hey,
I mean, if
free
somebody
car?
gave me one, I would drive it, but
for me
I wouldn't spend the money to buy it.
Right. And I just in talking about him, I think honestly, some designer needs to come up with an Elon Musk cologne because I think
agree.
more men need to smell and be like him. Come on, Blake.
It would smell like the way that truck looks like
It
a
would-
truck.
No, it would probably smell like
Look, yeah.
something we've never
does
smelled
he
before.
bathe every day?
And I'm not doubting Elon Musk's masculinity.
No.
Because he's got 13 kids. He impregnated 11 different women.
Yeah.
But he's a little different.
Well, yeah.
He's definitely a little different. His sense of humor is different, and that kind of sets him back a little bit with some people. But I think
he's a great
he
guy.
wasn't raised rich. He wasn't. I mean, he was raised by a single mother, and of her 3 kids, they're all billionaires.
In
their own right.
In that interview with Laura, he was talking about because she was like, "Is it true you really slept on this couch?" And they showed a picture of the couch, and he's like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Why? Like when you could have slept anywhere?" He was like, I just did it. Like I needed to get stuff done. I did it. Pretty much that's what he said. And she goes, and his office is tiny. Like it's smaller than our studio. His office at the White House. He told him I don't need a big office, whatever. And he said at his businesses, he doesn't have an office either because that's how he's out and about and finding out what's going on.
For years, he didn't even own a home.
Wow.
He would crash at friends at their house. Yeah. So just in different He's a different guy.
That's what I'm saying. When she's talking about the smell, I'm like, maybe
I know he's a quirky kind of guy, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm sure
quirky.
When he gets dressed up, he's fancy like, and I'm sure. But one thing and this is all I'll say, one thing that I learned early on about Elon Musk, Patrick was giving me a hard time because I feel like the house has to be left in order, beds need to be made up, and he's like, as rich as Elon Musk is, he doesn't take the time to make up his bed.
Yeah.
I bet he does.
He calls that a waste of.
Yeah, he calls it a waste of time. Energy. He added up how long it took him to make his bed and how much time it equals out to a year. And I don't know what it was.
That's a surprise, actually, because people who pay attention to details make their bed every morning.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm going to be honest. I have never made my bed. Well, unless my mom made me do it. But my wife, every morning.
Right. That's why you
gets
don't.
up, makes the bed, and I'm like, "Why are you going to make the bed?" And another 4 hours, I'm going to take a nap.
I can't function if the bed is not made. Like I get up,
no.
I can't.
My duty is messing up the bed. Okay, that's my duty.
Did you say duty and messing up the bed? Like, who do you think you are,
Yes.
Amber Heard?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Trump says he will not drop the tariffs with China to negotiate. Now, China came back and they said, we want to negotiate, but you have to drop the tariffs and then we'll negotiate. And he said, no, that's not the way it works. Why would we drop the tariffs to get you to the table? We will drop the tariffs when you come to the table and give us a deal.
Right.
He said
that's
China
negotiating 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So he said, we're not going to drop the tariffs against China to get them to the table. They're going to have to come to the table and negotiate, get the tariffs dropped. And look, you got Toyota, you got Honda, you got General Motors, you've got the big steel company, you've got all these companies and investing in America. The momentum is on the United States side. I know there are people in the United States that hate America and want China to win this battle because they hate Trump. But when the ships aren't leaving the docks in China, that's a win for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
When they're having to lay off employees, that's a win for Donald Trump. Sorry, that is a win for America. Looks like American tourists were poorly impaled in Rome at the Colosseum. Dozens of witnesses looked in horror as a U.S. tourist visiting Rome screamed in pain after impaling himself on a metal fence at the Colosseum. The man, 47-year-old, he's a citizen living in Taiwan, was stabbed in the spine after attempting to climb the historic monument fence.
Ew.
He was trying to get a better view, maybe, and was impaled. By the way, man's lower back wound was closed with more than 80 stitches. He was hospitalized in serious condition. The unidentified man was able to speak hours after the incident, said he was on vacation with family and friends and had only been in Rome for a couple days. Wow.
That's wild.
Of all places.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we're going to talk about Alcatraz. We'll talk about Donald Trump opening that, taking out the trash coming up. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, trusted name across southeast New Mexico. If you've got hail damage and you need somebody to go out and check on your roof, they do shingle roofs, they do metal roofs, they work with insurance companies all the time. Maybe you got damage to a metal building. Get in touch with them. They specialize in residential services, but they also do industrial and commercial metal buildings. They can give your home a complete makeover with new windows, new doors, new siding, new roof, seamless gutters. Go to the website, SeminoleSidingAndConstruction.com. 7:53. Taking out trash up next. Monica and the text.
All right. That's your dummy of the day right there, said Chase. Eric said, Republicans need to stop playing the same game. Change the language game that Democrats play. Stop calling that international foreign terrorist a Maryland man. Stop calling domestic terrorists that car bomb, blindly shoot into crowds and burn down buildings, peaceful protesters. This is one area that Republicans fail in repeatedly. You can't win their game by playing their ever-changing their rules that fit into their narrative. And Texas Tower Dog says, Monica, I agree. My bed has to be made before my day can start. Elon Musk is a patriot badass, and his cologne would smell like money. Lovington Patrick says, I'll tell you what, being in the oil field, Starlink is awesome. Service is excellent where I never had a service before.
There we go.
Rick Norris said, I think that the embezzling State Department employee thinking she is worth more than she is paid legally is a bigger crime than stealing that money. And if you and I harm anybody, it's called assault and battery, and we go to jail. Students harming teachers should be the same. And that was from an earlier conversation. Wingnut at Stephenville here. Are you serious? They have walls in Rome? Sounds like we may need some in America. Or may need an American deported back to Taiwan. Seriously, I hope he gets better. Oh. And this texter says, China thinks they're dealing with the politician. Heck no, we got a real businessman in there now. We don't need a politician in office running a country. Running a country is a business, and we got the right guy in there. Hands down. And Jimmy Burnside said, the bed should be made in the morning before you leave your room. Dishes should be done after dinner every evening. Jimmy, you and I are on the same exact page.
Thank God I got somebody to do that for me, Jimmy.
And John in Pyote, Texas said, good morning, ladies and gents. Good to listen to you again. Been busy and haven't been able to listen. How's Tom doing? So I'll say a little bit. So Tom was required to stay in the hospital through Monday. They were going to observe him, right? And through observation, it was learned that Tom had a little slight, tiny bit of pneumonia. He had a small case of pneumonia. But other issues that he has that we'll let him say eventually have been elevated because of this. So I got to see firsthand what everybody's frustration has been with him before, and that is taking himself serious and taking his health serious. So we'll see where things go from here. He's supposed to be released today.
I did speak to him yesterday and told him, wake up call, bro. Wake up call. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We were talking about China. The website to go to, China Observer, and go to that website. Japanese company out of China. Nissan shuts down its Wuhan factory, and if you go through all of this, the protests that was going on and the poverty that is going on in China right now, do not tell me that China is winning this battle. You cannot cut off your number one client. That would be America. We're their number one client. And all of a sudden, the deal ceases without feeling the effects. No way. Can't feel it. Monica, what's your thought on Trump ordering the reopening of Alcatraz in San Francisco?
I guess it's a great idea, but it's gonna take a lot to reopen it. A lot.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a cheap project.
It's a 22-acre plot on a big old rock in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to open it up. They're going to house the worst of worst, the violent, ruthless criminals there, and I know they made a movie about this, but, just no guards. Just let them fend for themselves. Drop them weapons off.
No weapons. No weapons.
Yeah, I mean, because then you're gonna have to find people to work out there and travel out there, and they're gonna have to agree to stay and live out there. And yeah, I don't count me out.
No. My point is no guards. No guards. You drop off weapons.
No weapons.
And the herd is going to eliminate itself.
The reason I say no weapons is because I don't want them to be able to, if they somehow get off the island, I don't want them to be able to do that.
No, okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe. All right, let me do Take It Out Trash, being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com, 575-408-1719. Call Kayleen today. They do residential trash pickup. They also do commercial waste pickup. They can haul away all of your waste. You need a big roll-off container. They've got them. They'll drop one off at that location. So call Kayleen this morning, 575-408-1719. Veteran-owned and operated, trash-eaters.com. Blake, did you see the money that this governor spends on parties?
Oh, my gosh. It's astounding.
Can you on post?
$96,000.
You want to read the story? Extravagant.
Yeah.
Personal perks.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment out the wazoo.
Yep.
Channel 7, Target 7, did the report as New Mexicans hurt. This governor doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And this is a blatant misuse of public funds. Mm-hmm. Instead of directing resources towards what the state needs, repairing our damn roads, fixing our education department, this governor is funneling money into fine dining, alcohol, and even badminton sets.
Mm-hmm.
Posh living, posh parties, even party trinkets.
Well, and part of the thing is there's nowhere in there that says that you can't use the funds for whatever it is, right? It says that she can use the funds to operate the office. So she just says that her parties and all those things are operating the office. So what the heck? If the governor can just use money for whatever and say that's what it costs to operate the office of the governor.
Yeah. Yep. So Power to the Future, our buddy Larry, his group, showed a couple things that the governor did. One pricey gathering cost about $1,400 and was held on a personal day, while another catered dinner for 5 people cost over $1,000. That was for Thanksgiving. But why would she need to spend state money for a Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, because she's not going to pay for anything herself.
Oh. You remember when Susana Martinez got in trouble about her pizza party?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this governor's done the same.
Only hers is Wagyu steak.
Yeah. Sad. Michelle Lujan Gresham blowing about $97,000 of your hard-earned money on parties, perks, and the rest of us, the minions. We are the minions. Have to struggle. Take it out the trash. Thank God she is not that big, but man, she weighs a lot. Take it out the trash. Being brought to you by Trash Eaters.
And I think she's actually lost some weight. If you look, I bet she's like on Ozempic.
Yeah,
or
she
something.
did. I think she's hitting Ozempic.
Yeah.
She's hitting Ozempic. All right, when we return, some of the stories we're going to talk about. Ruidoso breaks ground on new apartments. The Iron Fire, we'll talk about that fire. And 2.1 million person crowd estimate at the Lady Gaga concert. Well, we touched on that. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
And the Secretary of State trashes the voter ID policy by Donald Trump. And out of Midland, is this a father and son involved in the shooting? We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. 803 KWMW Malmsbury 105.1 FM KDAZ AM 700 FM 96.9 in Albuquerque and 93.5 KWES in Ruidoso. Time for things that happened on this date in history. Being brought to you by 2A Tactical Firearms Indoor Firing Range. Find them 236 East Navajo in Hobbs. Veteran-owned and operated. Largest selection of firearms. State-of-the-art indoor firing range with the Milo FBI Training Simulator. If somebody is just learning about shooting and practicing, this is the perfect place for you. They offer financing for firearms. They have all your optics, your accessories, your ammo, safes, tactical gear, suppressors. They've got that and so much more. Plus, they offer one-on-one training and group training for firearm safety training. Visit them, 236 East Navajo in Hobbs. And don't forget, they have a website, 2atacticalrange.com. They are open 7 days a week and proud sponsor of things that happen on this date in history.
All right. Well, I guess that button's not playing. Do you hear it? Mm-mm. Okay. I
guess
guess
all the other problems continue on.
I just reset this whole thing, so we don't know. On this day in 1494, on his second voyage to the Western Hemisphere, Columbus first sighted Jamaica. And it was on this day in 1776 that Silas Deane, an American agent in Paris, invented invisible ink.
Hey.
And on this date in 1886, the phonograph was invented. Needless to say, it was a big boost for the Record of the Month Club. In 1893, the Panic of 1893 hit Wall Street. Yeah, it was the first one. On this day in 1904, Cy Young pitched the American League's first perfect game as the Boston Red Sox defeated the Philadelphia Athletics 3-0. Huh. I wonder if they should name an award after him or something.
Maybe.
And it was on this day in 1912, the very first issue of the Soviet Communist Party newspaper, Pravda, was published. 1912. And in 1925, John Scopes was arrested in Tennessee for teaching Darwin's theory of evolution. Ironically, the whole state went ape, or the school board told him, no more monkeying around. Oh, come on. Those are good. I spent
Those
time
are
on
great.
Those. On this day in 1942, the U.S. began sugar rationing. And Will is trying to fix the volume so we can have these buttons back. Today is African World Heritage Day, World Portuguese Language Day, International Day of the Midwife, National Silence the Shame Day, School Lunch Hero Day, Cinco de Mayo, as we all know, National Astronaut Day, National Hoagie Day, National Totally Chipotle Day. Oh, I'm sure they came up with that. And National Cartoonist Day. So happy National Cartoonist Day to all my fellow cartoonists out there. And happy Cinco de Mayo. That falls between May the 4th be with you and Revenge of the 6th. And so I'll have to say, may the Corona be with you. How about that? Singer Chris Brown turns 36 today, Kevin.
I did not do a Chris Brown.
Well, that
was not on my other list.
He's known
How did I miss that?
He's known for some of his hits. I'll just leave it there.
That was a good one.
Adele celebrates birthday number 37 today.
Happy birthday, Adele.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Adele.
Me after dark. The scars of your love remind me.
Adele.
Henry Cavill celebrates number 42 today. He's no longer Superman, but he has played a Superman in the movie. He was also, if you remember, The Witcher, and he played a character called Napoleon Solo. and Man from U.N.C.L.E. Tina Yothers, who plays Jennifer on Family Ties, turns 52 today. Man, they're all getting up there. Former NBC and MSNBC anchor Brian Williams turns 66 today. Rex Go, man, Tom's not here today, of all days, turns 74 today. Kevin, what was their biggest hit?
I don't remember.
It's Air Supply. Lost in Love.
One of those.
Yeah. Today's are just an app for that. You don't need the song. You don't have an Air Supply song ready?
No, it wasn't on the list.
John Rhys Davies turns 81 today. If you don't know who he is.
We're not on the same page this morning.
I don't know what happened here. He played Gimli in Lord of the Rings. He was also the Egyptian sidekick for Indiana Jones, if you remember him. That's John Rhys Davies. Michael Palin of Monty Python turns 82 today. Do you know which one he is?
Mm-mm.
The easiest way to identify him, remember the fish called Wanda?
Yes.
He was the one who stuttered.
Okay.
Okay, even though that wasn't a Monty Python movie, it had several Monty Python.
Gotcha.
John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, Graham Chapman, and Michael Palin. There you go.
Okay.
Lance Henriksen turns 85 today. You'll know him if you ever see him. He played the android bishop in the Alien movies. He was Pumpkinhead, and he was Jesse Hooker, the head of the blood-sucking clan in Near Dark. It's very cool.
Really?
It's a very cool vampire flick from 87, by the way, in case you want to go check that out. People who are no longer with us, and hopefully you have this one. Tammy Wynette left in 1998.
Just one man. You have that time.
If I could find the...
I love the old school raspy voice singers.
Understand. But if you love...
All right, where is the...
Even though...
Oh, please, Tammy, you're killing me. All right, you get the idea.
Yeah. All right. So the other person who left us today, and quite honestly, I hoped would have left a lot sooner off the face of the earth, but didn't. Karl Marx, the author of the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah.
He died in 1883. Of course, he was born in 1818. And, yeah, a lot of our problems right now, because we have a whole lot of people on the Democrat Party who think that they are the
Sanders'
resurgence.
friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
They think they're the resurgence. So there you go.
All right, when we return, Blake, Jeffrey Sachs. You probably heard of Jeffrey Sachs.
No. Now, I'll
tell you who Jeffrey Sachs is.
I'm going to warn you, Kevin.
He talks about...
When we come back, I may not have the lead-in button, so I will have to cue you. If
I will listen.
Okay.
I will listen. All right, we still got to do the national anthem and the pledge. Can we do that this morning?
I hope.
I'm praying.
It's on the button bar. Will is still doing it right now, trying to get the volume on there, so we may have to come back to that.
I used to have all that. Let me.
Okay, he's on it.
This is live radio, folks.
Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, gonna do that, and then the national anthem. I'm learning on the fly here as he puts some stuff.
How
in
to
here.
build it?
Yeah.
You kind of have to wonder what the hell's going on over the weekend.
Right.
You know, the rain brought in a lot of crap.
There's a second last Monday, the same thing.
So
I think it's a ghost. It could be a ghost. All right, you want to do national anthem and the pledge when we come back?
No, I can do it. I can do it right now because we loaded it up into the bar. He just did it for me.
Awesome. All right, national anthem and the pledge, 12 minutes after 8, being brought to you by Rebecca Long. She's your Farmers Insurance agent. You can find her today at 575-393-2661. She is good people. And, if you're looking for somebody to do business with that is going to be there for you in the beginning and be there for you when you need some help. That's Rebecca Long. And you know what? That's why she's been so successful for 40 plus years. She started her business at 19. She can bundle all your insurance together. If you're looking for home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance, recreational insurance, she can handle all of that, bundle it together to save you money. 575-393-2661. Rebecca Long, your farmer's agent, proud sponsor of the National Anthem and the Pledge.
No, I got nothing.
Do you want me to say the pledge?
All right, let's do it when we're coming back. I'm going to see if I can find it on my end. We'll do it when we come back. Let's check, find out what's going on with news. Being brought to you by...
I'm going to have to eject these things. Go ahead.
Being brought to you by Luke Ragsdale, RagsdaleLawFirm.com, reminding you when accidents happen, it's when you least expect them. And you need a trusted law firm called the RagsdaleLawFirm.com, specializing in car accidents, personal injury, and, of course, medical malpractice and accidents in the oil patch. Based in Roswell, serving the entire state, they offer free consultation. You never pay until they win your case. The name again, Ragsdale Law Firm, RagsdaleLawFirm.com or 575-208-5300. Call Luke Ragsdale today. We're coming back. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club, 814.
Pharmacy 575 is excited to welcome nurse practitioner Jessica Barrera to their team. From primary care to minor injuries, she is ready to care for our community. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are preferred. Offering the My Daily medication program with pre-dose packaging, wellness consultations, weight loss plans, and more. Go see Pharmacy 575 at 305 East Sanger, Suite 600, or call 575-263-2908. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Pharmacy 575. Your health, their priority.
Did you know that when you become employed with Eddy County, you'll be receiving one of the best and most competitive benefits packages in southeast New Mexico? Eddy County offers great pay, paid vacation, paid sick leave, and holiday pay in addition. You get para-retirement, and for full-time employees, 100% health insurance paid and 60% for your dependents. You can find a list of open positions and apply at New Mexico Workforce Connection or online at eddycounty.org. Eddy County is an equal opportunity employer.
What could possibly live out here is a question you've probably either asked yourself or heard from someone else. The answers are all waiting for you at the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park in Carlsbad. Located at the top of the Ocotillo Hills, the Living Desert will take you through a variety of habitats, from the sand hills to the arroyo, from the Pinon Juniper Zone, and through the Canyonlands along the 1.3-mile self-guided tour. Features like the nocturnal exhibit, a walk through the park, including the aviary and reptile exhibit, will give you a glimpse into the hundreds of species of plants and animals adapted to the arid climate of the Chihuahuan Desert. In addition, the Succulents of the World greenhouse exhibits highly adapted plants from many parts of the world. Don't forget your souvenirs from the Visitors Center at the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park in Carlsbad. Open every day except Christmas Day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., with last entrance being at 3:30. Visit livingdesertnm.org or call 575-887-5516 for more information. Paid for by City of Carlsbad Lodgers Tax.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com. Home of the lifetime Permian powertrain promise.
Let's get it on! You're a lot smarter than I look.
We asked Southeast New Mexico what they wanted in a morning show, and they told us. We're tired of being asked what we want in a morning show. All right.
Both of us were banging our heads like two 16-year-olds, yelling at each other.
Be in the Breakfast Club. Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
Another day. It's 8:19, 19 minutes after 8. Let's do, can we do the national anthem and the pledge?
Yes, he's getting to it right now. National anthem and the pledge.
Okay, I think we can.
God bless America.
All right.
God bless America. Live radio, national anthem, the pledge being brought to you by our friend Rebecca Long. Give her a call, 575-393-2661. Former's insurance agent. She can handle all your insurance. Proud sponsor of the national anthem and the pledge, 820.
We are the Dominguez family from Hobbs, New Mexico.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular of Mossburg singing out, yeah, prove
Lord's Prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil, reminding you God is in complete control.
Our verse of the day comes from 1 John 4:4. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world.
This is Ashley with Judah Oil, and I ask that you join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who've trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Boob of the day coming up in just a second. We are Beyond the Breakfast Club morning show this morning being brought to you by North Star Laundry, one-stop shop for all your laundry, dry cleaning. They can press your clothes, starch them, wash, dry, and fold your clothes. If you want to handle all that yourself, they have coin-operated machines, and they're open 7 days a week. Drop off your clothes today or get in there and wash your clothes. 609 West Lee in Carlsbad, 604 West Church in Carlsbad, and 406 West Cedar in Loving. See them today. 824. We are and the Breakfast Club. We'll check the weather. We have flood warning in effect for tonight in southeast New Mexico, and clement weather in Ruidoso, and rain in the forecast in Albuquerque. We'll get you updated with the complete forecast in a second. Monica, if you would, the text.
All right, we've got quite a few of them requesting that we do the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem a cappella. Yeah, no. I watched that movie Rust at home this weekend, and I was curious where they filmed parts of that movie. And didn't you mention that one time, Kevin?
Wasn't it outside of Santa Fe?
I have no idea. I know that you talked about it, and I want to say you said it was shot in New Mexico too, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely shot in New Mexico. That's where he pulled the trigger and killed that individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not minions. Gru actually treated the minions better than MLG treats us. We're peons to her, says
Oh, okay. You're right. I apologize.
And Junior DePorto said, I heard that the White House celebrated Cinco de Mayo by giving away hundreds of free trips to Mexico. And good morning, y'all.
Junior.
God bless Tom. And yes, we should celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So let's eat some tacos and drink those margaritas. Also, yes, open up the Alcatraz and have them corrupt politicians and anti-American people work there. Chrissy is chiming in. She's saying, hey. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning. And dang, midget swinger parties are expensive, says the chief.
Well, I mean, nothing but the best. Nothing for the best. Can you imagine spending $1,000 for Thanksgiving for 5 people and thinking it's okay?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It just goes back to how entitled these socialist Democrats are.
Right.
It's just like the Communist Party. Everything for them, nothing for anyone else.
Right.
Well, and you know, the bigger problem is if somebody spends their hard-earned money like that, I will never say anything. It's your money. Spend it whatever way you want.
Yeah.
Right. It's not someone
but
else's money.
This is our money.
It's not her money. I'll say it that way.
And this one said, yeah, Chase was helping us out. Yes, that movie was filmed between Santa Fe and Klein's Corners. So you were right, Kevin.
Yeah.
And good morning. I remember when your show would start with a song by Aaron Lewis. Am I the only one? Would like to hear that song. Thank you all. You're doing a great job.
Okay, we'll see if we can incorporate that.
And John Fermina said...
How long ago was that?
It was a while.
Kevin, you just admitted your first Tom A trait by admitting you don't make your own bed. LOL.
No, I mean... You know, to me, making a bed is a complete waste of time because I'm just going to get back in the bed.
Listen, Elmer says, I make my bed every morning, but I only use the comforter, no linen. Coming home to a made bed makes my day a little better. If I had a bad day at work, I used to have a lot of bad days while I was in the military. Aw. I'll never forget, like, whenever I first met Patrick and started coming over, that's the first thing I looked at, like, how clean is this guy? And so I went into his bedroom and he had the cover pulled over, like, all of his pillows. And I was like, negative, bro. We're not doing this. Like, you've got to make up your bed every day. He's like, why? I'm just going to get back in it. He said the same thing you said. I'm like, no. We don't roll that way.
Thank you, Patrick. No waste of time.
And I think that's when he told me the whole Elon Musk thing. And then he laughs at me because I have this calendar that's got like blocks and like I change the calendar date every day. And he's like, what is the significance in that? And I'm like, it's for me. Okay. Just let me be. I swear. You guys don't like the simple stuff that make girls really happy.
Whoa. You can't say
Not
all
you.
you guys.
Kevin.
I'm not making the bed.
Oh, Kevin, somebody's being a smart butt to you. Kevin, why wipe your butt if it's going to get dirty again?
I have a bidet, so I don't have to wipe.
Hey.
So what you're saying is we need to bring back the waterbed.
Well, maybe said, so if you guys don't make your bed because you're going to get right back in it, then why? Okay, yeah. He just said the same thing. Then why wipe your butt?
Yeah, I got to say, I would be supportive of a waterbed manufacturer coming back. Those were comfortable.
Yeah, true.
Those are back in the day, and you could put the heater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
During the winter, crank that thing up.
Oh, yeah. It was like
It's
soothing.
pretty cool.
Artesia and Drew. Tom is still in the hospital. He's supposed to be let out today. And when he returns, we will let you guys tell him. We'll let him tell you.
We will see where that goes.
Right. And this is the last one. Married women want a bed made daily. That way, if they come home and it's messed up, they can question who's been in the bed with the husband. Listen, if you're... I just want to say this. Go ahead.
You're a real dog if it's bad enough you're messing around, but if you're doing it in the bed you share with your wife, you're a real dog.
Oh.
That's cold. That's very cool.
That's true. I want to say, like, if you're a single guy and you're, entertaining women, I'll just put it that way. You're entertaining women, you're bringing them to your home. Make sure it's picked up because the decent women.
Hey, if I'm a single guy, I'm trying to get him in the bed, so the covers not being on the bed is to my advantage.
No. A cualquiera mujer, just a whatever. Yeah, she's not going to care. But a good one, a decent one, she's going to care. We cared, obviously.
Well, she can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Florida alligator trapper teamed up with local authorities to capture the large gator on the highway. It is the biggest swamp creature since the last time Nancy Pelosi went there. Yeah. By the way, this happened in Jacksonville County, and they were able to capture it. It was huge. And billions of cicadas from the second largest, what is that called? The brood of cicadas emerged in dozens of states. Can you imagine? It's like staying at Motel 6. Very loud and lots of insects. Same thing as staying at Motel 6.
Oh.
Motel 6 used to be okay, and then they sold.
And then they don't leave the light on for you anymore. They just turn it off.
They do not. You know who bought Motel 6?
Who?
I don't remember.
Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inn used to be a good company, too. And then they were bought out by, I want to say, a British company. Not super cool anymore. The Equalizer, last episode, the final one, aired last night.
Wait, that show was still on?
Yeah, the last episode of the Equalizer was the final one.
Equals 0.
After 5 years, Queen Latifah's, the show is gone. I talked about this, Blake. You were busy. Warren Buffett decided that he's stepping down at the end of the year.
Well, he is in his 90s.
Yeah. 94, I think Monica said.
Yep, 94.
So it's time.
But still,
And Lester Holt.
watch what Berkshire Hathaway still does. I'm just telling you. You can make money if you know who to follow.
Well, he has a bunch of folks that he has trained to do things his way. So,
and if you're really,
I'm sure,
and I'm just going to say it, if you're really interested in the stock market or anything like that, look who he trained, follow what they do. I mean, don't just immediately blindly do what they do because you don't have money to waste, but follow what they do, figure out how they're doing it, and then act similarly if you can and want to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lester Holt, the anchor of the NBC Nightly News, did the show for the final time on the 30th. He announced his departure after 10 years. He's gone. Lester said, I got to get some rest. And Kungara, the owner of Chef Boyardee, selling the brand to a private equity firm for $300 million.
Wow.
Is that the end of Chef Boyardee?
No. Just because ConAgra has, that's just one of their portfolio things.
Yeah. And Ruidoso breaking down a new apartment development. So they're breaking ground. If there's one thing that is needed in Ruidoso, it's apartments, new apartments. Village of Ruidoso is in critical need following the devastated fire. So they are breaking grounds for new apartments. Elk Meadows on Meacham. Very important. One of the biggest problems that they had, even when I lived there were no affordable housing for workers. And that's why there was a shortage of waitresses and waiters and that type of stuff. Jobs like that, because they couldn't afford to live in the $1,500 to $2,000 a month apartments. Right. So this is going to be good. And I know I know Lynn Crawford has been fighting for more housing up there even before the fire. So kudos going out to Lynn. And our Secretary of State is quite upset over this voter ID plan that came out by Donald Trump. So Maggie Toulouse Oliver, very upset. And she's very upset that, people are going to have to show their ID. She said it's another baseless attack on common sense voter laws.
No. It is a common sense.
Completely the opposite.
Yeah. It is common sense.
It is common sense. She said it's a huge barrier. No, it's not. If you're going down to Allsup's to buy beer, you need what? An ID. If you're going to the state office to apply for welfare, food stamps, or any type of assistance, you need an ID. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you can get one from the state. They call that an ID. Mm-hmm. Did you see over the weekend a lot of folks are upset over the real ID? Speaking of IDs. Mm-hmm. Because they'll have to have the real ID to purchase a gun, to fly. And there was one more thing, but are you brokenhearted that they need the real ID to purchase a gun? I don't have the real ID, but I have a passport.
Right.
Now, can you buy a gun with a passport? I don't know.
I'm sure one of our gun people can tell us. Anyone that has an FFL or is a shop owner.
So, but that's what I heard, that you will need the real ID. Your regular New Mexico driver's license is not going to be good enough to buy a gun. Anybody know about that? I would love to hear about you. All right, I got the story about Michelle Obama.
Okay.
She announced she's in therapy because she's transitioning. And look, that headline, that is the headline. Michelle Obama announced she's in therapy because she is transitioning. That headline was enough. I was like, wait a second. Here.
Where is that? I gotta go find it.
That was on Snurgly this morning.
Okay.
That's from the Daily.
I got it.
Yeah.
I found it.
So, former First Lady announced that this week on her podcast, she's now in therapy because she's transitioning. At this phase of my life, she said, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. You know, I'm 60 years old. I finished a really hard thing in my life with, with the family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, they've been launched, and now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice I'm making is completely mine. So is that a transition?
No.
And is she saying she's excluding Barack in those choices? That's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like it.
Oh
she
my
goes on
gosh.
to talk about, she goes on to talk about the tough life she's had because, Barack was there. I'm like, you guys have made $100 million since you left office.
Right. Such a tough life.
Such a tough life. But every decision I make is going to be mine and solely mine. I'm not going to Barack and ask him for his opinion. Would you call that a transition?
No.
I would call that a divorce.
Yeah.
That's what I would call that. A divorce. I don't get that.
Oh, God.
Well, and if you're going to use the word transition, and you're a big-time liberal Democrat in this day and age, you know that you got to follow that up with something else.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. When I read this story about Kelly Grimsley Auto in Odessa, I was like, didn't you see what happened to the guy in Lubbock that got indicted on federal charges?
Mm-hmm.
But this dealership is on the hook for pretty much the same thing, which began as a routine car purchase, quickly turned into a financial nightmare for several people who say the local dealership failed to pay off their trade-ins, leaving them on the hook for the loans, and that they don't even own the car anymore. They sold it to the dealership. Joy Chu bought a car from Kelly Grimsley Auto in January. She traded in her previous vehicle, expecting the dealership to settle the balance with her bank, but it never happened. I traded in my previous vehicle, which they sold, but they never paid off the bank note. In fact, she began getting past due notices. Talk about ruining somebody's credit.
Yep.
Chu said he reached out to Brandon Grimsley, who made one payment on her loan, but it wasn't enough. My bank said, you're 3 months behind. One payment is not going to do it. Talk about crash somebody's credit.
Right.
So, multiple people in the same situation, and Kelly Grimsley is now saying they're under investigation. Isn't that the same thing that the car dealership in Lubbock did? I think that's pretty much the same thing.
I don't know the answer to that, but
and I also I know one thing. One thing they did is they floor planned those cars, and they sold some of the cars, but never paid off the floor plan.
Oh man!
So, Ford Motor or whoever it was,
right,
never got the money. They were never paid, which is a big problem. So that guy is actually in federal prison right now.
How does that even? How does that happen though? Like,
well, because when you go into financing,
because hold on, So if I go and I trade in my car, how is that company going to, or how is Kelly Grimsley going to resell that car knowing that they don't have the title for it for the next person because they never paid it off? There's all kinds of illegal stuff.
Well, part of the thing is a lot of times you never see the title, right? Like if you're buying a car, they don't give you the title.
Yeah, because you're financing
unless you're paying cash.
Yeah. Okay. I got
But
it.
and the
It's
other
easy to finagle that.
Well, and the other thing is if you ever finance any part of your car, you have to make sure that once you've paid it off, if you pay it off, that you take that letter from whoever your financial institution is to your county clerk or whatever, wherever you are, what state, and get that lien removed from your title.
Oh,
because I'm
gotcha.
going through that right now with my van. When we bought our van, we financed like 5,000 of it, right? And paid it off like within a year.
Sure.
And I did that because it was a business van. And so when we paid it off, they never sent us a letter saying it was paid off. Well, I can't trade that in now until I get that removed from my title. So I'm waiting on a letter from that finance institution so I can take it down and have it removed from the title.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, Rigger Dykes is doing 14 years in federal prison right now
Wow.
for lying to a bank about the company's financial prospects and doing all kind of shady stuff. Scheme involved $40 million. $40 million. IRS, FBI got involved. And Rigger Dykes, you know, there are people that worked under Rigger Dykes that got more jail time than Rigger Dykes.
Wow.
Rigger Dykes, Bart Rigger is, and you know what's really bad? The person that gave his name to that organization, Spike Dykes, the football coach. Basically, that was a deal when he was coaching at Texas Tech. Man. If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Rigger Dykes, 14 years federal prison. So, crazy. Well, I should say Bart Riggers did the 14 years. Rigger Dykes is the name of the corporation. Crazy. And so you would see that in Lubbock, and then somebody decides to do something close to that. In Midland, of course, they're not guilty until they're proven guilty in the court of law. Thought I'd throw that in there. That's called a disclaimer. That way nobody can sue us. I don't want Will sued.
No.
Just saying.
No.
I just would make sure. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Wanted to turn SpaceX launch site into a city. We'll tell you what happened with that. We'll get to that and more in just a second. And Jeffrey Sachs. I haven't talked about Jeffrey Sachs. I'll play a clip from Jeffrey Sachs in just a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by WWRV times3.com 988-0392. Find them today in Carlsbad, 3 locations. So if you're working or living around Carlsbad and you're looking for an RV park, they've got 3 in Carlsbad, over 162 RV hookups, 30 and 50 amps available, all your utilities for one low price. And of course, they are pet friendly, very well lit up, nice place, high speed internet's included for your one low price every month. WWRV times3.com 988-0392. Monica, quickly to the text. Boob of the day up next.
This is Jimmy S. from Carlsbad. That was Rigger Dykes in Midland and Lubbock that did the scam on floor plans with Ford. And
there you go.
People need to stay away from Kelly Grimsley. They tried to do the same thing with me years ago. Kelly Grimsley is a crook and always has been, said this guy. And a real ID is just as easy to get as a driver license. John from Una said, guys, apparently Michelle is the only one who didn't know she was transitioning because all of the rest of us knew. That's why we called her Big Mike. You mean Michelle Obama's transitioning to a woman? Said Donald. And Chief is asking, did you hear that the Real ID makes you forego your religious rights when it comes to things like COVID vaccines? Is there any truth to that? I have not heard anything like that. Have you, Blake?
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
And if you want to spend my money on 50 cheap or expensive dolls for my nieces, I should have that right. Didn't you just say, let me spend my money how I want to? Yeah, go for it. I can't
So you want cheaper dolls?
Yeah, they want...
You'll have to pay the tariff.
Yeah. And I can't make my bed in the morning. I leave for work and my wife is still asleep in it. So where's Tom? If he was there, he could run the boards. LOL. I miss hearing his song.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, with all the technical problems we had this morning, no way.
And well, maybe I resent another email to Josie, so you guys should be getting those soon. Okay. And Tom has 9 lives. He has had plenty of wasted lives. Fix yourself, Tom. No one else will, says D. Gonzo from the patch. Hopefully You're listening, Tom. And the illegal immigrant that came here illegally, no legal rights. If we want to remove them, we need to remove them. The guy that was looking for a better life is a wife beater, drug addict, gang member. Although confusing, I can answer the question for President Trump. Nope, he has no rights. And that's it for the text line.
All right, Boob of the Day this morning at 8:48. Boob of the Day being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. Get in touch with them today. If you're living in pain, there are alternatives. They offer stem cell therapy and ozone therapy. And by God, I would love to have some ozone therapy about right now. I would love to have ozone therapy, but I can't get ozone therapy, but you can. Go talk to them and don't live in pain. Go talk to Kelly Pfeiffer today. They offer hormonal optimization. They offer lots of aesthetics for women. They also have a lot of other things that they can do. Did you know they have a full service lab right there on location? Go talk to Kelly Pfeiffer and his staff today. Desert Functional Medicine Aesthetics, 3900 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs, 575-964-8025. Proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
When you're driving on a major interstate and you miss your exit, do you A, keep driving and get off at the next one, or B, come to a complete stop on the road and cause a crash and then drive away?
Well, hopefully I'd do A, but I'm likely to do B too.
The Ohio Department of Transportation posted a video from last week of a red van coming to a complete stop right on the interstate because they missed their exit. Now, they were waiting for the right lanes to clear, so they weren't even in the correct lanes to exit, and they wanted to make a last-second right turn and cross over and go back onto it. In the meantime, a couple of cars did stop behind them. Then a van slammed into those cars, which caused a multi-car pileup on the interstate. The original red van was mostly spared, and they surely saw and heard the crash behind them, but they made the turn down the exit and drove away.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't sound like anyone was seriously injured, however, and the driver of the red van hasn't been identified yet because they're trying to figure out who they are. They didn't get a clear shot of the license plate. Anyway, as soon as they figure it out, they will be cited and they will be charged in every one of those accidents. And I'm just betting they probably didn't have insurance.
Nope.
Just my guess. But for that, you are the Boob of the Day.
Boob of the Day being brought to you by our buddies at Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. 8:51. We're taking a break. We're coming back. News this morning being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. Farm and ranch supplies. Western wear. They have everything that you need for your animals, or if you're living on a farm, to repair your tanks, tack, pumps, so much more. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell, also in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. Find out more information, RoswellLivestock.com. Their number 575-622-91 64. We're coming right back. It's 8:52.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. There have been 67 measles cases reported in 4 counties in New Mexico, the Department of Health said. 61 of those cases have been in Lee County. Eddy County has reported 3, Doña Ana County has reported 2, and Chavez County has reported 1. In Texas, the number of measles cases has risen to 683. Gaines County, just across the state line from Lee County in New Mexico, has the most cases in Texas at 396. April Wilcox, 45, of Jowell, was arrested Thursday and charged with criminal solicitation and capital murder after an alleged plot to hire a hitman to kill her ex-husband was foiled. On April 21st, an informant told police Wilcox was trying to hire someone to kill her ex-husband and would pay them $1,000. On May 1st, undercover officers contacted Wilcox and asked for the money to perform the hit. Wilcox gave undercover officers $900. She was then arrested. The U.S. Geological Survey recorded an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.3 about 50 miles west of Pecos, Texas, and about 20 miles south of the state line with New Mexico late Saturday night. People from around 100 miles away in places like Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs said they felt the quake. And the Lee County Sheriff's Office installed 8 license plate readers across the county and said they have significantly benefited the LCSO operations over the past 2 months. In addition to recovering about $70,000 worth of stolen goods and vehicles, the department was also able to locate a man who was a danger to himself and had been reported missing. And now they are sharing the information with other law enforcement agencies across the state in a similar manner that Albuquerque Police and the New Mexico State Police do. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
American Steel Structures in Artesia is the place for high-quality steel structures such as carports, barns, garages, RV covers, sheds, workshops, and more. They have customized solutions designed to fit residential, agricultural, and commercial needs. This galvanized tubular steel is long-lasting, durable, and reliable for any job. Their flexible sizing spans up to 60 feet wide, 20 inches tall, and any length in 5 feet increments. They are a nationwide service available in 45 states. Call American Steel Structures today at 575-703-2321. That's 575-703-2321 for American Steel Structures in Artesia.
Some theaters show movies, others create experiences. At Lee Theater's grand reopening on May 9th, you get both. Join them for a superhero theme night starting at 6 p.m. Kids can enjoy face painting and ice cream while you snap photos with superhero themed props at the Balloon Arch. The movie starts at 7, but the fun begins the moment you arrive. Don't miss this blockbuster event. See you Friday, May 9th at the historic Lee Theater's grand reopening. Be part of the magic.
At Franklin Veterinary Clinic, they're a full-service clinic that offers comprehensive care for family pets, equine athletes, and livestock alike. They have multiple veterinarians on staff providing the best possible care for your animals at every stage of their life. And when emergencies arise, they offer 24-hour ambulatory services and after-hour emergency care. The new emergency number is 575-808-7725. Franklin Veterinary Clinic, a tradition and excellence in caring, proudly serving Lincoln, Chavez, and Otero counties.
Your favorite gun store in Hobbs for over 25 years is now carrying fierce firearms. The Gun Shack is now open at 3421 North Grimes, across the street from Permian Toyota. The Gun Shack is the area's largest fierce firearms retailer, with the new .22 Creedmoor and the 7mm Bat Country now in stock. The Gun Shack, now open in their new location, 3421 North Grimes, Suite 300 in Hobbs.
Storage units available now from JSM Storage, LLC, with 3 convenient locations in Midway, Dexter, and Hagerman. A local family-owned business, JSM Storage makes it easy for you to get the extra space you need. 5x10s just $30 a month, 10x10s $60 a month, and 10x20s just $120 a month. Find them online at jsmstoragellc.com or call and ask about getting your first full month of rent for free today. 575-361-1721. That's 575-361-1721.
There's Cinco de Mayo specials all week at Bob's Ridgway. Baby back pork ribs, $2.77 a pound. Fryer drumsticks, 67 cents a pound. Roman tomatoes, 99 cents a pound. And get large Hass avocados, 2 for $3. Large jalapenos, 2 for $1. Fancy corn, a 4-count pack, 2 of those for just $5. Another big Cinco de Mayo specials. Wild La Crema Mexicana, get 16 ounce ounce jar for just $2.98. Tropicana Punch, 2 big gallons for $5. Get Julio sauces, 16-ounce container, $2.98. And your Craven flavored tortilla chips, get 2 big 30-ounce bags for just $8. Those and more than 150 big Cinco de Mayo specials all week. We're for 50 Cinco de Mayos. Bob's Rich Way has always been where your dollar goes farther. 906 West Avenue D in Lovington.
Now back to your morning show.
In the Breakfast Club being powered by Permian Ford with the goal of being your number one Ford dealer in New Mexico and West Texas.
Talk to me like you know me.
Be in the Breakfast Club. Rest assured you're not going to learn a thing here.
If we get caught, we're going to jail.
Already 2 minutes away from the hour of 9. We are beyond the Breakfast Club. Quick check of the weather this morning. Being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror, Atlas Makeup Mirror, and Grooming Tool. Times 1, times 5, times 10 magnification. Beautiful LED lights. You can see everything. This thing travels easy. Weighs less than 4 pounds. Give Rebecca Long a call today or just go to the website and don't forget 25% off the Atlas Makeup Mirror when you use code word W105. Mother's Day's coming up, and don't forget they have these small pocket mirrors for $29.99, larger pocket mirrors for $39.99. Talk to Rebecca Long today. 575-631-3189. Atlas Makeup Mirror, atlasmakeupmirror.com. Check them out today. Oldest living person in the world now is a woman in Britain. Guinness World Book of Records has given her that confirmation. Amazing, because the English eat everything that you think you're going to die quick. A lot of fried food. They drink like fish. But she is the oldest living. Nancy Pelosi's number 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's number 2 on the list. This woman's 115 years of age. Can you imagine the knowledge this woman has? Yeah. Unbelievable. And it's called the 52-week challenge. Set aside $1 a week. Week 2, $3. Week 3, $3, and so on and so forth. By the end of the year, you're going to set aside $1,378.
Yep.
Wow.
52-week challenge. If you can just jump on that to begin with, and then you can start investing your money.
Yep.
Pretty cool. 52 weeks challenge. Kentucky Derby. We haven't talked about the Kentucky Derby. Silverthorne is Silver Charm, I should say, is alive and well and living in Kentucky at the age of 31. Blake, what horse went down to win the race?
Sovereignty.
And there. So it's amazing, though. There's one fact that's amazing about every one of those ponies.
Yep.
What is that fact?
Every single horse that was in the Derby is a descendant of Secretariat.
Wow.
Every single one.
Every one. Even Toby Keith's horse that came in at number 17.
Aww.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That is neat.
And man, that track was soupy. It was a muddy soup.
Yeah, I saw the replay. It was very, very soupy. Yep, for sure. Prince Harry says that his father, King Charles, no longer speaks to him, but he's hoping they can one day reconcile. I can't even imagine my dad stopped talking to me.
Listen, if he doesn't forgive and talk to his son, it's because somebody else has influenced him to not speak to him.
Yeah,
because I think that
maybe.
I think it's, I mean,
that could be the queen, his wife.
Yeah.
Camilla.
Yeah. Because I
Camilla.
feel like any good dad would be just waiting, open arms, kind of like the prodigal son,
Well,
just
I
waiting.
think
for
he
his son to
probably
come to his
is,
senses.
but he doesn't want the girl to come along.
Yeah, he doesn't want the baggage that goes along with that. That would be the chick. Yes. Mark, what's her name?
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like Charles doesn't have some
I watched
experience with
Suits.
Sure.
I watched Suits and I was like, I didn't even put that together, that she was Meghan Markle and married. Yeah, I'd never put that together.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like on Saturday, voters living around SpaceX rocket testing and launch facility in South Texas approved a measure to incorporate that area as a new city. Soon after the polls closed, 7 p.m., Cameron County election officials confirmed that overwhelming support among early voters clinched the election in favor of creating the city of Starbase. Unofficial results later that night showed that it was a landslide. 212 voters favored the idea, only 6 opposed the idea. So congratulations, Elon Musk. Another win for Musk and the folks that work for SpaceX. Congrats. That's a huge win. Did you guys see this? The bank robbery in Chicago in daylight. It's about 4:30 p.m. on Friday.
No.
FBI is looking for 3 men in their late teens or early 20s. They believe that were the culprits. They were carrying handguns and pointed them at the vehicle, and they later fled in a car, and they had dark clothes on. Their face was blacked out. FBI released the photos of the suspects carrying a box and a handgun. Of course, they will never say how much money they got away with.
Right.
A bunch.
But it was armored truck heist.
Yeah.
So you would figure if it's an armored truck heist, they got away with a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
At least $1.95.
Yeah, what's the chance of them getting away with this?
The fewer people involved, the better the chance of getting away with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you did something like this and don't open your mouth, you got a better chance than telling your boys what happened.
Yeah.
That'll only get you in trouble.
Again, the fewer people involved, the more likely to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bill Belichick exploring a PR firm after his awkward TV interview. So he's interviewing PR firms. Look, his first year in North Carolina is making $10 million. And here I am thinking that his fiancée, Jordan, I don't know where she got the money, but she's into real estate all over the place. She's invested that money. I mean, she was in school a couple years ago when they met.
Good for her.
She owns apartment complexes and all kind of other stuff. I was reading that over the weekend.
That's
crazy.
Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan.
PR firm. Belichick.
Wow.
How soon will it be that they turn the back on Bill Belichick if they don't win the ACC in, say, 3 years?
Pretty
That's
quick.
A good one.
Pretty quick.
I bet it's going to be pretty quick.
That is a good
I bet it's going to be pretty quick. Look, there are people, even though I think in Texas, Steve Sarkisian has done well. There are talk of people saying if he doesn't win in 2 years, he's done. Heck, I'm hearing about my LSU Tigers. That if Brian Kelly doesn't win, at least get to the big dance this year, he's done. You don't hear that about Deion Sanders, do you?
Mm-mm.
I'd be willing to bet Deion jumped ship before Colorado dumps him. I'd be willing to bet.
I would believe that.
Yeah. Powerball jackpot winner arrested after kicking a deputy in the face. Law enforcement officials in Florida arrested a Kentucky man just days after he won a $167,000 jackpot on the Powerball. Sheriffs say 50-year-old James Farthing was charged with felony battery of a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest and simple battery. According to the arrest affidavit that was filed, Farthing was involved in a fight with another guest at the Tradewind Resorts in St. Pete, Florida. Just days after winning $167 million.
Wow.
And the Powerball, you get in a fight at a resort. Look, I believe in celebrating. But dang, you're taking that way, way too far. All right, Monica in the text, 877-396-W105.
Chief said 3 people can keep a secret if 2 are dead.
Amen. So I said the fewer people, the more.
Linda in Carlsbad says, I do not believe Charles is Harry's father. Ooh, Linda.
Ooh.
And Digger Bill said, my first wife would make the bed when she got up. So one morning after I got up, I made my side of the bed as a joke. That night, she said to me, what the hell?
You can't just make half of it.
Listen, I do that too. I do it too. Uncle Mike says, this question is for Tom. So Tom, if you're listening, this is from Uncle Mike. He says, how much do you love yourself and your girls? If you do, then do the right thing for us too, because we miss you getting kicked around. And that's from from Uncle Mike. And Monica's secret admirer.
Mike, she just called you old.
No, Uncle Mike. It's because I was trying to look to the next text and proofread.
So we know old Uncle Mike.
That's exactly what I told
Uncle Mike
Tom
does
yesterday.
not look
It's
his
time
age.
for you. Time for you to love yourself and take care of yourself.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. An old man Bill's girlfriend is using his money to set herself up for the long term.
It's smart girl.
I mean, she is a smart girl, but he's got to be a smart man too. You know, it's like I was saying the other day. Like
Monica, there is a old saying, and you've probably heard it before.
Maybe.
Sometimes men do not think with the right head.
I know.
Well, I'm going to say it to you this way, too. It's not unheard of for men with money to exchange that for certain favors.
So,
or escort or any of that, regardless of what else is attached to that.
So, okay, so I get, this is probably new to him. I don't know. I just know he's a coach. He's been a professional coach for whatever many years. Mm-hmm. And if he's been single for a while and desperation kicked in, not even that, just the want, the desire. And so he met someone or whatever, immediately, I'm in love. And just be with her, but take care and protect your stuff.
Sure. But if
your belongings, your
money.
But
it's not unheard of for wealthy men to give gifts to women, to exchange that money for their company in whatever way that forms. And it's if you're going to talk about love, men, there's been studies on this, actually fall in love faster than women do.
Sure.
Are you
sure?
Yes. There's been several studies on that.
I just looked up. Him and his wife were together for a long, long time. They, I want to say from 1977 to 2006. Debbie Clark Belichick. And she is actually a looker. Mm-hmm. She is a looker, so he left it. I don't know what happened. Belichick had an alleged affair on another woman that he met, that he was married to. So it's not the first time that he, has had younger women, but supposedly she approached him. Jordan Hudson approached him. And it's not her first older man. She was with a older man before, not as old as Bill Belichick. And you know what? If they love each other and they have an agreement, so be it.
Right. She obviously has a type. She knows what she's doing. She might be young, but
she might. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of places we could go with that.
I mean, yeah, we can talk about it forever and ever, honestly. I mean, we're getting texts and the guys are saying, wish I was rich. LOL.
Well,
Depends on what you want in life.
Depends on what block you live on, what rich is.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. But, I mean, he was married in a long time relationship and then split up and had a lot of time on his hands. All right, Blake, are you going to shave off your eyelashes? Because this is a brand new trend.
No.
Shaving off your eyelashes.
That's dumb because your eyelashes protect your eyeballs.
So,
I mean, I can see it if you shaved your eyebrows, but your eyelashes, those are only there to protect your eyeball.
So they're saying if you shave off your eyelashes, you look more masculine.
No.
And this is all over TikTok, Instagram, and X. Barbers shaving off eyelashes.
Mm-mm.
So any chance Monica Patrick's going to shave his eyelashes off?
No. Hell to the no. No, he ain't doing it.
So, yeah. I asked my wife this today. I go, do you hear about this? She goes, that's just stupid.
Right.
And she goes,
she's 100% right.
And she told me, she said, and I've had people tell me this before, my eyelashes are, my sister used to tell me, I wish I had your eyelashes. I've never looked at my eyelashes. But my wife told me that today. Now, why would we want to shave those off? I can't imagine shaving your eyelashes off.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
God put them there for purpose, right?
Yeah, protect your
I
eyeballs.
would think. Yeah, there you go. Roswell, New Mexico became the world's first city to announce a strategic Bitcoin reserve. You see this? They put some money into Bitcoin. Roswell made history, becoming the first municipal entity in the world to offer a physical receipt for Bitcoin donation. So they put some money into Bitcoin. It's not much. But they are the first municipality to do so. So congratulations, Roswell.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not a bad buy.
No, not a bad buy. We'll see where it goes. And Steve Morse highlights 3 good signs of Trump's jobs report. We talked about the jobs report in hour number 1. One good thing about the jobs report, and I'll leave it here, is that private sector jobs up, government jobs down. We'll just leave it at that. Government jobs are down. Regular working men and women jobs are up. And can you imagine what will happen when all these factories open and good paying jobs are abundant? There's no reason why we should have 4% unemployment. We're going to have jobs coming out of the wazoo.
Right.
Why would we need guest workers if we have Americans that can do those same jobs?
Good question.
Good question.
I've always asked that. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. Monica, anything on the text before we take a break? Good news of the day coming up in just a sec.
Just one. If Bill was needing some release, he could have just hung out with Robert Kraft and he could have taken him to a place. I don't know.
You know, I thought about that and I didn't say it, that Robert Kraft, of course, got into some legal problems when he did he go to a massage parlor? Was that the deal? But got the happy ending?
I think so, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think he got the happy ending. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, he got the happy ending.
Well, I don't think he and Robert Kraft get along anymore. You know,
No, they don't get along anymore, which is kind of sad. Yeah. 9:17. Let's get updated with news this morning, being brought to you by La Tienda Thriftway in Carlsbad, where they make your tortillas from scratch. They've got corn tortillas, flour tortillas, your shells, your chips, and they make them multiple times a day. Some of the specials you'll find at La Tienda. By the way, try the taco bar. They've got the New York strip steak, $7.99 a pound. Fryer wings, $1.99 a pound. Spare ribs, $2.49 a pound. And the beef bottom round roast, $4.99 a pound. Produce department, red ripe strawberries, $1.77. Check those out today. Mangoes, large mangoes, 99 cents each. Grape tomatoes, a pint for 99 cents. Seedless grapes, extra large, $1.99 for the red seedless grapes. Produce department, get the white bread for $1.28 a loaf. Also, get the hickory smoked turkey breast for $7.49 a pound. Black Forest ham for $4.29 a pound. Kobe Jack cheese, get it for $6.99 a pound. Also, if you're looking for refreshments, they have you covered with Coke, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, and other flavors, 12-pack for $7.99. See it all today at La Tienda Thriftway in Carlsbad. 9:19. Good news of the day coming up next. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump says he wants to convert Alcatraz Island off San Francisco back to a federal prison.
It's a symbol of law and order.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
The president saying in a Truth Social post the new Alcatraz will be substantially enlarged and used to, quote, house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Alcatraz closed in 1963 due to weakened infrastructure and maintenance cost.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz again there in D.C. Alcatraz has been a tourist attraction since 1973. Israel's cabinet approves a plan for the military to take over the Gaza Strip and stay indefinitely.
The plan's approval comes as Israel's military issued a large call-up of its reserve soldiers as the Hamas terrorists in Gaza refuse to release remaining hostages taken on October 7th of 2023, including American citizen Edan Alexander.
It's Fox's Evan Brown. America's listening to Fox News.
Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
Beat the tariffs at National Furniture Liquidators. Proposed tariffs could significantly raise the price of furniture. Don't wait. At National Furniture Liquidators, we have over $5 million in inventory, tariff-free, ready to deliver now. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and more with great financing options regardless of your credit and all tariff-free. National Furniture Liquidators. When it comes to value, quality, and selection, nobody beats yours.
Sutherland's of Carlsbad is here for all your home improvement and DIY projects. Visit Sutherland's.com for how-to tips and guides. Skip the hassle. Buy online and pick up in-store for free at 2101 South Canal in Carlsbad. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, and plywood to fencing, power tools, and furniture, Sutherland's has what you need for the job, plus great financing options. Sutherland's, helping Americans build it better since 1917.
Hi, this is Danny Kirkendall with Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia. We're celebrating 100 years in business here on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia, and we invite you to come see us for your new Chevy, GMC, or a just perfect pre-owned vehicle. Our GM certified team is ready to assist you, so give us a call at 575-746-3551 or visit us online at guychevy.com.
Guy Chevrolet, celebrating 100 years at the corner of 1st and Main in downtown Artesia.
Hey, man, turn that down. Where's my keys?
Hey, what's the rush?
I'm headed to the JC to sign up for some classes.
What's the hurry? We barely graduated.
I heard classes are filling up.
So what, you're gonna be a scientist or something?
Man, I could be a welder, police officer, barber, or maybe even a nurse. They make bank.
Yeah, right.
They even have audio and video classes for you.
Really? Hold up. Let me get my keys and I'll drive.
Just roll on out to New Mexico Junior College and register at nmjc.edu today.
Some theaters show movies, others create experiences. At Lee Theater's grand reopening on May 9th, you get both. Join them for a superhero theme night starting at 6 p.m. Kids can enjoy face painting and ice cream while you snap photos with superhero themed props at the Balloon Arch. The movie starts at 7, but the fun begins the moment you arrive. Don't miss this blockbuster event. See you Friday, May 9th at the historic Lee Theater's grand reopening. Be part of the magic.
This is Rhonda Romack of Destiny Real Estate, where our business is built on dreams and imagination. Right now, the Lincoln County real estate market has more buyers than sellers. What does that mean? It means that the local market of inventory of houses and ranches is low, but we have plenty of buyers ready and willing to purchase properties. So if you've been considering putting something on the market, it's a good time to get top dollar for your investment. Telephone my team of seasoned professionals at 575-257-3000. That's Rhonda Romack of Destiny Real Estate, online at rudoso-nm.com.
Old Jack's, Lovington's hometown drive-in, offering everything you need to heat up and cool down. From your favorite poncho burger to the best banana split around, they're even serving up some new desserts. The specials for the week of May 3rd to May 9th are the Ham and Cheese Club, the Swamp Thing Red Bull, and the drink of the week is Hawaiian Scream. You can find their daily and weekly food and drink specials posted on Facebook. Old Jack's, 321 West Avenue D in Lovington, or call ahead at 575-396-5328.
Be in the Breakfast Club powered by Permian Ford, home of the lifetime Permian Powertrain Promise. That means your engine and transmission performs for the life that you own the vehicle or it's covered.
1, 2, 3, here we go.
You see, this is what happens when you let sick people play with powerful toys.
It's like I've got the winning ticket in my pocket.
Here we go, back to Be in the Breakfast Club. Be part of the show. 877-396-W105.
Pick up the phone and call me right now.
Chance of rain coming up tomorrow in southeast New Mexico. We've got sunny skies, chance of severe weather actually happening this afternoon. 40% chance of severe stuff, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and severe weather also tonight, like a 90% chance of severe weather. Ruidoso, high temperature 61 today, 20% chance of rain this afternoon, 70% chance of rain tonight, and even snow late tonight into tomorrow morning. And in Albuquerque, high temperature today 67, 30% chance of showers, 50% chance of showers tonight. And then tomorrow, 70% chance of rain. Monica in the text, it's already 9:25.
We don't have too many, but Artesia Tom Fan was asking way back, what do you do if you lose a title?
You have to apply for a lost title.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do that through the MVD.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, honestly, for the text.
And that really doesn't matter what state you're in. If you lose a title to a vehicle, you go and apply for a lost title.
I did get...
That's a fairly easy process. I did that for a Jeep I had.
Yeah. It just costs a little bit of money, and you got to prove that you're the owner, and they got to do an investigation to make sure it's not stolen. But it's pretty easy.
Hey, I do want to say this. I got a text from Tom A. about 10 minutes ago.
Really?
He said... They want me to stay one more day. And I said,
then you stay.
Okay. I said, I'm going to go by after work. You can fill me in on everything. Bring your charger so I can charge while I'm here. Thanks, Monica.
That's because he's fine.
Don't take him any food.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
Jeff, did you see Jeff Bezos disclose he's selling $4.8 billion of his Amazon stock?
No.
Really? Pay attention.
What does that mean?
Pay attention.
It could mean several
That's
things.
what I'm saying. Yeah, pay attention. And President Trump says he wants to rename Veterans Day Victory Day. Look, there's already a Victory Day in Europe.
It's coming up on the 8th. Victory in Europe.
Yeah, Veterans Day is different than Victory Day.
Yes.
Victory Day is simply for World War II, correct?
Yeah, it's called Victory in Europe Day. So VE Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of Veterans Day.
Yeah,
now, could we do a Victory Day? Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But we already have it. Like I said, It's in 3 days.
Right. So, but I'm not about. We're not.
Now,
Veterans Day is more important.
Mm-hmm. The 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th year.
Amen.
I mean month.
Amen.
Sorry, not year.
Yeah.
Month.
Amen. All right, let's get to good news of the day, being brought to you by Farmers Insurance Agent Herschel Rustin Hayes, Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513. Home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance. Get in touch with Rustin Hayes today, proud sponsor of the good news of the day.
So a high school baseball team in Arizona was about to take the field when everyone heard a loud bang, and then they saw smoke. There was a fire nearby, and some of the players left the field and rushed over to help fight it with hoses and whatever else they could. The fire was on a woman's property, and she didn't realize it at first. She was working from home, and she was wearing her headphones, so she never heard it. Now, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of first responders, they were able to put the fire out, and her house was saved. And last week, staff at an aviation service company in California paused work when they noticed the sound of meowing coming from an excavator that was parked about 20 feet from their offices. Now, there were 4 2-week-old kittens inside, and after a 30-minute rescue effort, they were all safely recovered, and they're in the process of finding homes. And finally, a 12-year-old boy in New Zealand created an AI pill bot to stop his grandmother from taking the wrong medication due to her poor eyesight. Now, the boy was asked if we should fear AI, and he said no, but joked, if AI does take over the world, I hope this project helps them realize I'm on their side.
Aw.
So he's going to side with the Terminator. And that is the good news of the day, Kevin.
Hey, we got to get out of here. Tradio is coming up next. News this morning being brought to you by Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. Check them out today if you're having problems with your AC. 575-631-1999. Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. They can take care of all of your air conditioning and heating issues. Residential or commercial. The number again, 631-1999. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll keep you updated on everything going on throughout the day. Tradio coming up next.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. There have been 67 measles cases reported in 4 counties in New Mexico, the Department of Health said. 61 of those